Hello, and welcome back to episode 11 of Burn Down the Sandcast. I am your interim Yiffmeister, Mike, aka at Rick Rolls Royce on Twitter, and today I have our regular cast and crew with me.
Hi everybody, welcome to Burn Down the Sandcastle. I'm Maggie.
Hi.
You can find me on things, I guess, if you want. You don't need to. It doesn't matter, let's be honest.
I mean, that's my thing. I am Mark. I am back from last week. You can find me at GameBond on the Twitters. I am also available at your local discount store for like $1. Yeah, you'll find me next to the air fresheners.
Nice. Hey, how was your week?
Fucked up, man.
Yeah, why?
Where to begin? Where actually to begin?
You should begin at the beginning.
So a long time ago, when I was only a wee lad. Okay, seriously. So I've been busy the last couple of weeks with homework because I have been trying to catch up. That's basically been my week. So
yeah, I'm very aware of that.
No. So yeah, that's why I was not here last week because I was trying to play homework catch up.
Yeah, I've been constantly shouting at you to play video games with me, and you can't because you're doing work all the time now.
Yeah, especially that now because I actually have a new job now. I started yesterday.
Yay!
So now I work all day, every day.
Yay?
Oh no, that's a lie. So I have a job in the morning during the week, and this job is in the afternoon on weekends.
Right.
So at least Tuesday to Thursday, I at least have a bit of a break because I can just relax.
How is the new job so far? Have you met any Ryo Hazukis at your warehouse job yet?
No. I haven't even seen a forklift there.
Wow.
It's a small warehouse. It's a small warehouse, actually.
Did you steal a forklift yet?
No.
No, because there aren't any. Did you see any sailors?
No.
Oh.
Wait, why would sailors be at a warehouse?
It's a Shenmue thing.
It's a joke. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I work 5 hours. It's a 5-hour shift.
That's not too bad.
But it's not. It's a small warehouse. I would say.
So when so you go in at 4? Is that right?
No, I go in at 2:30.
Oh, okay, I see.
And I clock out at 7:30. The benefit with that job, at least, that if things aren't too busy, they will ask if they will give you opportunity to leave early, which I did today.
Ooh, very nice.
Which is why our podcast. Well, and honestly, we would have started around this time anyway.
I mean, yeah.
if I actually say the actual 5 hours.
Realistically.
This is your fault.
So, not too bad then. That's good to hear.
No. And then if I can keep at it, I get plenty of opportunities to, like, change my schedule if I want to.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible, and I'm happy for that.
Cool.
But right now, it's just Friday through Monday.
Can I ask what the pay is?
It's a warehouse gig, so not about $11.50.
Oh, okay. So, but not minimum wage or anything.
No.
Alright, that's good.
Yeah. That's how it was when I started my other warehouse gig like 7 years ago.
That's what I was worried about, is that it might be minimum wage or something, but I'm glad to hear that it's not.
I mean, I could say where it is, and then like, no, they treat you nice.
It could still be better. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong.
I guess, but they're not like pushing you right now. They're not pushing you a lot.
Right.
I didn't like first day. I didn't do a whole lot. Like, I sorted some boxes for about like an hour and a half. Took a break for about 15 minutes, and then just moved a bunch of carts for about 3 hours.
All right, fair enough.
Like, but come like Thanksgiving, shit's gonna get really nasty. Cause
oh yeah, definitely. At an Amazon warehouse, you better believe it.
Uh-huh.
Don't forget about Christmas. That's when it's gonna be really bad.
I know. I mean, I worked at FedEx, so I know how that feels.
Oof.
Yeah, you shitlords ordering stuff off of Amazon, I'm gonna hate you.
Yeah, eat shit. I got Prime. I'm gonna ship stuff directly from fucking Texas to my house, just to screw you over.
Yeah, 1 day shipping. Good fucking
You go on eBay and order stuff through Amazon from Texas.
From Texas, yeah.
Oh, see,
definitely.
There's like 4 different warehouses in my area, so you have to make sure you get to the right warehouse.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. I'll look it up.
Good luck.
Order from all of them.
I'll call a distributor and ask where you work and ask specifically to get it from that one.
So I wouldn't even know if it's you or not, because I'm not going to look at the label. I'm just looking at the specific sticker. That way, so I wouldn't even know.
You don't need to know. You'll know because there'll be a bunch of packages that you have to move.
Oh, the box that's his will just say "Hi, Mark" on it.
Yeah, and it'll be really heavy.
I bought a lot of lead.
I bought bricks.
Of lead.
If you're buying bricks, they wouldn't even go to the warehouse. I think the maximum weight is like 60 pounds.
Bricks filled with lead. Yeah, but a bunch of different 60-pound packages.
If it makes you feel better, though, the lead bricks are wrapped in asbestos to insulate them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good insulation.
See, as much as you're putting shit on me, I feel bad for the 4 independent contractors doing the delivery.
All right, cool. Maggie. Oh, you got one more thing?
I'll wait till after Maggie, because...
Okay.
Well,
Maggie, how was your week?
It's gonna be a short one, because not a whole lot happened.
That's fine. What did happen?
Nothing.
What happened with the
really.
house?
Like,
Did you guys go see that new...
I mean, I didn't see it. I was supposed to go, but I was asleep during the day.
But what did they think about it?
I mean, yeah, we're getting it. I said that
okay,
last
fair
time.
enough. I don't remember if you said you were getting it last time.
I did. I did say we were getting it last time.
Do you know when you're moving to it?
Next Saturday.
Wow,
which
that's
is gonna be real
fucking
fun.
soon. Holy shit! I didn't think it was gonna be that soon.
We want to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, that much was clear.
But next Saturday is also the day I'm going to Gamer X, which that'll be really fun.
How is that gonna work out? Are you gonna move
I'm gonna
and
pack
then
my shit up, and then someone else is gonna have to deal with it while I'm in the city.
Nice?
I guess.
But
I didn't know that was gonna happen.
But you are at least looking forward to Gamer X, which I'll let you explain.
I'm going to go get drunk with some queer people. That's about it.
Yeah, so basically it's
I mean, I'm sure there's stuff happening there that other people care. I don't really care about the event itself. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel with Anime Fest. It's just like, fuck the anime, I should hang out with people.
It's like going to AGDQ. I literally don't plan to go in the run room once.
See, that's fair.
I don't plan to go in the run room usually, but considering that I now know people who do runs there, like Studio, I feel obligated to go in for certain ones. But yeah, in general, I don't.
I mean, you're gonna be up like 3 in the morning to watch awful games done quick.
Yeah, I will watch that, but I'll be watching it from the hotel room. Probably.
See,
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna set up like we did when I was there. We're gonna set up a laptop and we're gonna stream it on the TV.
No, so I don't know if you know this, Maggie, but since last year, when we went last year, they now have the stream running on the TV hotel room. The hotel room TVs. Yup.
Oh, so it's just there.
they just have a channel set up for stream for nerds.
Yup, and it's the big TVs, so it's zero effort and it runs really well. There's no lag because it's not they're not like streaming it. It's coming straight out of the equipment basically through.
So it's like basically a miniature like little television setup.
I don't want to sound like I'm rude or anything, but I don't like the run room because in the run room I can't get drunk and shout at a meme robot.
Or you can shout even, but it's just
they have this. From what I've seen, they have it so locked down nowadays. It's not even fun to be in there.
I'm pretty sure I can't shout "haha fucking memes." I love fucking memes.
Yeah, that's true. You probably can't do that. It's just
they might get mad.
The attitude has become very different in the run room. Over the years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, by next year, you won't even be able to clap.
Well, I don't think that's true, but
you gotta kill the animals, man.
The clapping is limited to certain times already. So.
Oh, do they flip a switch and a sign comes up that says "clap now"?
No, but if you just like start clapping out of nowhere, they'll be like, "Get the fuck out!"
Wow.
If you're just like while somebody's doing nothing, they'll fucking kick you out for sure. I bet.
Man, that's.
I mean, yeah, if it's dead silent and one asshole...
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's a bit different.
To be honest, I just find that funny.
But yeah, I don't know. We went to Awful Games Block the first year, and, yeah, it's possible I might dip in for a little bit of it, but it's more about the hanging out with people and going to the arcade and stuff like that.
Also, I guess I have to ask: are they just as strict in the twilight hours as they are during the day? With like barely anyone in the room.
For the streams?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if there's no one there, then
I mean, yeah, it's easier to be more strict because there's about.
Well, I
like,
mean,
10
like, if you're just
people in the
clapping
room.
with the guy, he doesn't mind, or whoever's streaming.
If he doesn't mind, then they don't mind. But the thing is, like, actually, what I would basically say to you is that if you're taking attention away from the run and bringing it to yourself and the audience, then that's typically immediately when they're gonna get on your shit. Like, doesn't matter if if you're being obnoxious enough to the point where
It's
you're
just distracting.
right? Then
You'll be kicked out, but you'll become a meme forever.
and you'll get away with it if you're on the couch. But if you're not on the couch, then you're gonna get screwed. So
Yeah. Again, you also just become a meme.
But what if I bring like a big foam finger and I just shout like, yeah.
I think
You
if you
can
don't
do it.
shout anything and you just wave the big foam finger around, you could get away with that,
No,
probably.
you gotta shout. You gotta be like, you can do it. I believe in you.
Only if you shout when there's already like clapping and other stuff happening.
Yeah.
Because if you shout during silent moments, they're gonna get you.
And then you take your shirt off and you start spinning around and yelling.
Oh no, I think that's where you're losing them.
And then when they come over and ask you to leave, you get into a drunken argument with staff
Oh,
and be like, I paid $60 to be here, and I'm gonna fucking yell whatever I
I
want.
don't think.
So we're basically just being sports people.
So true story though. Like if you get kicked out of the run room, they basically. I'm not. This hasn't happened to everyone who's been escorted away. I don't think, but. Typically, if you get kicked out of the run room, that means event access is revoked, in which case they just take your badge away and you can't like go into the arcade anymore, which is the real problem. So that's why you wouldn't do that.
Did they fix the arcade and they have
Arcade's
20
great.
Daytona machines now?
No, but they did have an initial D machine last year that was fucking dope.
Alright, no, but
So
but I need 20 lined up Daytona machines, my dude. I need
you
that.
don't trust me. The table flip game. I forget what
They still have that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
they did.
But
There's a game with buttons that's like there's
I think
three
Dryzen
buttons.
made me play that, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, there's a game with three colored. Oh, the table flip game. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy.
yeah,
Basically, you pound on the table a lot, and then you flip it.
wait, a lot? I thought it was just once and you just flip it.
No, you're supposed to pound it definitely multiple times. Basically, like they give you like a moment. They do like it's like a skit on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, for anyone not knowing what we're talking about, there's this arcade game where there's a big. It's you stand in front of this thing and there's a monitor in front of you, and there's like half of a table in front of you, like a
You're
like
basically
a
just
table.
the scenarios with a family, like a Japanese family.
Well,
Naturally.
so there's many scenarios. There's one where you're like an old lady at a gentleman's club, and there's a bunch of them. But basically, they give you like a prompt for when you're supposed to hit the table. So she like shouts or whatever, right? And you slam down on the table, and you're supposed. I mean, this machine. I guess people have broken the machines before, but you're supposed to do it fucking hard. You're not supposed to like constantly slam on it. You're not supposed to like or anything like that. You're supposed to just like do one big boom
Yeah, that's
whenever
what
the
I
prompt
mean.
comes.
And then
And you do it like 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, and then right at the end you put your hands underneath the table and you flip it up as hard as you can. Well, not as hard. Well, hard. I don't know.
as much as you can.
Yeah. When I did it, I was not banging on the table, and I was just trying to do it as hard as I could, and I felt like I was going to break the fucking thing.
So they had a sign on it that was like, "Don't flip it too hard." But I'm gonna be honest with you. I definitely played that when I was drunk last year, and I
Yeah.
went really.
That's the problem.
fucking
Like,
hard.
there is a sign on it that says, don't flip it too hard. But when you're about, like, 6 shots of gin in, you're like, what does that mean? I'm flipping this bitch.
Well, anyway, but regardless, I flipped it like really fucking hard, and it didn't break. So I think it's
Those things are made. Those things are made to have that kind of abuse.
they're supposed to get they're supposed to get flipped hard. So all right, we need to get it. Let's move on. My week, I'm just gonna say really quickly, I played too much Destiny.
I did. Go
We'll
on.
talk about that later. And then also, my tooth keeps breaking, Picture a tooth, and now picture the tooth splitting in half and a large piece coming off of it.
Christ.
And then picture you go to your dentist, and he puts a plastic, like, replacement thing on it, right? And uses super strong dental cement or whatever to keep it in place. And then within 2 days of getting that, that same piece breaks off again.
Yeah, that's what happened to my brother when he did that.
Yeah, so he actually said it was no big deal. Well, when he was installing, he said it's no big deal if it comes off again, because he basically shaved the tooth down or whatever, and we'll deal with that later. We have other cavities to deal with beforehand, but boy, is it annoying. I was eating soft tacos, and my tooth broke. Not even hard shell, literally soft tacos.
Ugh.
All right.
So hey, fun story about teeth for some reason. I keep having dreams where I'm just losing teeth.
Hey, I am dead serious. You're in your dream, right? It's just like
It's
you're
always
doing
seems to
whatever,
be-
and there's no reason, right? They just start falling out of your face.
Oh, no.
You can't put them
So
back in,
No, nothing like that. Like whatever reason, like there's always one tooth that seems to be loose.
and then
And
it just
then it
comes
just-
out.
Oh yeah, after a while, it's kind of like and it's just always just the one tooth. Like
All right, that's not as extreme, but I will say I've literally had those exact same dreams lately, where
it's just
teeth
kind
are
of
just
weirding me
falling out
out.
of my head. It's
like-
horrible.
It's a
It's a nightmare.
yeah.
When I was a kid and I was losing my babu teeth, I pulled half of them out myself.
Oh, when I was a kid, I would always do that. Anytime that I could feel a tooth coming loose, I would always play with it. I couldn't help but play with it in my mouth
just
and my tongue
wiggle,
and stuff.
Yeah, just wiggle it around. That's pretty much how my dream went. Like whenever I felt it, I just kind of wiggle it until it finally came
I
out.
remember one time I was at school and I was trying to eat my snack time stuff, which was Cheez-Its, and my tooth was coming out, and I guess I got a cavity in the tooth that was coming out, and it kind of hurt. So while I was chewing, I was just like, you know what, fuck it, and I just pulled it out so I could eat my Cheez-Its. I brought these Cheez-Its to eat them, damn it.
When I was young, I want to say maybe 6 or so. I was at the park and I had a tooth that was pretty loose, but it wasn't I was actually annoyed with it because it wasn't coming out even though it was pretty loose. And I had been playing with it already for days and it just wouldn't come out. It was still pretty stuck in there. And we had asked my dentist what, should we do anything? And his response was basically no, just it'll come out naturally on its own. Don't fuck with it, basically.
Too bad.
So, well,
So by fuck with it, you mean really fuck with it, right?
by don't fuck with it, you mean no, but I don't mean that. What I mean is don't do that. But it doesn't matter because what happened was I was at the park and my mom or someone, I think it was actually my babysitter, gave me an apple to eat, and I just took like a fucking idiot. I just took a huge bite of the apple. I didn't even think about it. Took a huge bite into the apple, and then I didn't I felt something weird, and I didn't bite through. And then I just took my mouth away, and my tooth was just left stuck in the apple. And I was like, oh, there's my tooth. I guess that happened. And then I started bleeding everywhere.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that'll happen.
Yeah, my mouth just started bleeding profusely. And I think it was my babysitter was freaking out. She was like, what the what is happening? I gave you an apple, and now there's blood all over you.
You actually had babysitters, man?
I had one babysitter. Actually, no, I had 2 babysitters over the course of my tenure.
Me and my brother had to go to daycare centers, and let me tell you, they're bad.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Yeah.
One of them, me and my brother, I guess they said we were acting up, so more than once they just didn't feed us.
Wow.
Which
That's cool.
Well, that's illegal, first of all,
Yeah.
but,
The first babysitter I had was now I love her, very sweet lady, Carmen, who was a probably mid 40s, maybe 30s black lady, and she was way stricter than my parents, and she would just spank the shit out of me, which my parents never ever did. She would eat fries in the afternoon after picking me up from school. She would make crinkle cut fries and eat them, and I was always like, oh, I want fries. Can I have fries? And she was like, no, you're not. Of course you're not allowed to have fries. I'm not just gonna give you that stuff. It's not healthy. And I was like, but I want them. And I would throw a tantrum, she would just slap my ass like a bongo drum, just go ham on that sucker. Guess what? It worked. I stopped complaining about fries.
You worked that sucker to death.
All right, we have to move on. We have to move on. News.
I wanted to mention Yu-Gi-Oh, but whatever.
Too bad. News. Number one article.
Speaking of
Card
slapping
games.
that ass like a bongo drum.
I guess Nintendo did make a thing with a bongo drum attachment.
Speaking of Donkey Konga, Mario.
Hey, Mario's out. Do you guys know who Mario is?
Mario is an Italian man that fucks a dinosaur man.
He also plays card games.
Mario's the brother of the Green Mario. Perhaps you've heard of him, the Green Mario.
I have heard. The Green Mario is in Mario.
He had a year. He had a year recently. The Green Mario.
Yeah, Waluigi.
Mm-hmm. So Mario's out, and everyone thinks that it's really good. Like
Except
everyone.
me. Mario's bad.
Like everyone on my Twitter timeline, like everyone who reviews games, like everyone in New York City apparently, because they had a fucking musical on the street when the game came out.
Well, they had it before the game came out, but yeah.
Well,
also,
yes,
Reggie was there. He was possessed by Mario. I don't know if you knew this.
Isn't he always possessed by Mario? Anyway.
He's kind of possessed by the spirit of Iwata. Rest in peace.
I would like to give my review of Mario Odyssey very quickly. Thank you. 0 out of 10. Game doesn't even run on my Wii.
Oh, weird.
And I don't own it, which could also be a problem, but it's actually just a cartridge of Mario 64 for the DS that I'm trying to play on it.
Oh, that's actually pretty good, so maybe you should try
That's basically the same thing.
putting it in the DS.
No, it's the Wii. It goes in the Wii. The Wii has an SD slot.
So only one of us. I don't think the carts are SD cards. So
No, they are, but they're like specifically like formatted.
So only one of us, unfortunately, you'll have to hear from Miko next week. Which actually it's related because what Miko's where he is right now is he's actually getting married to Bowser. He's at a wedding this weekend, marrying Bowser because. I mean, no spoilers, but obviously Mario thwarts Bowser at the end of Mario Odyssey and marrying Princess Peach, and therefore Miko was like, oh, I'm going to get that rebound, hit up Bowser, called him on the low, they, hooked up a couple times, and now they're getting married. So we'll hear from Miko next week about his, marriage to Bowser. And
his honeymoon,
thoughts.
basically.
Yeah,
Getting married to that spiky turtle dick.
I mean, if that doesn't work out, there's always a brutal. You can always marry. There's a fat one in there.
In the meantime, the only person who has actually played the Mario
Is
here
me, obviously,
is
like
Game
I just
Bun,
said.
who owns a Switch, which neither me or Maggie do. So, how's the Mario? How'd that Mario do?
You don't know what I own, first of all. Don't try
I do because you've literally said that you don't own a Switch before on this
That's
podcast.
not the point, all right?
It's actually recorded.
We have proof.
What that Mario do? Game Bun? Mark?
That Mario's pretty fine. I mean, I played it earlier this year, remember? A little bit of it.
Just a little bit, though.
So right now I'm in the same spot where I played in the demo, the Sand Kingdom.
Sure. But I heard that that's not where you start. There's worlds before that.
No. So, you know that little, the Night Before Christmas S-World? It's just basically just black and...
It's Hatland, right?
I think it's the Cap Kingdom, or something like that.
The Cup Kingdom.
That's kind of where you start, because the beginning, Bowser just kicks your ass.
Bowser kicks your ass?
Yeah, he just sort of just knocks you into this random kingdom.
Damn.
But it feels good. Mario controls really nice. I've gotten better used to the motion controls. Well, not the motion, but the hat controls.
Right. So this is a thing that a lot of people are complaining about.
Yeah, so they've been showing the demo with the Joy-Cons separate. Because they at least they ask you to use like the motion controls with the Joy-Con.
Right.
So the Pro Controller does have gyro, so if you have that, you can use that as well.
True. I saw on the Giant Bomb stream Jeff doing the hat moves with the Pro Controller.
Mm-hmm. So supposedly the day one patch added like those motions to just buttons, but I have not figured them out because I've always kept asking for gyro.
Really?
Supposedly there is a way to turn off the motion controls. I have to look it up and see.
Okay, so for the record, my understanding. I might be wrong, but I think they were talking about this on the Giant Bomb livestream on Friday. That actually turning off the motion controls does not, it actually doesn't turn them off, because Jeff turned them off, and then when he was using the Pro Controller, he could still do the motions, and it would still do the hat stuff.
I figure it's probably just like for anything that requires you actually moving the camera.
Second of all, I think my understanding is that turning off the motion controls does not make it so that you can do that stuff with button presses. It just means you can't do it. That was my understanding.
I will have to go back in some of the early kingdoms and do the tutorial areas where they tell you how to do it and see what comes up as a prompt.
So my question is, what exactly are the things you can do with the motion controls? It's just hat stuff?
Yeah, mainly with the hat. Because Mario's basic moveset, he has to dive again. I never realized until I actually played it. The Mario 64 dive. Because the way that works, you have to do the ground pound and then hit the dash button, or hit the Y before you actually ground pound.
Apparently he also has a ground pound jump.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the one from Mario 2, except you're having to charge it. As soon as you like hit your ass on the ground, you can hit jump again. You get a big boost.
Oh, you use like a super high jump, basically?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Gotcha.
And also I mentioned the roll. That's actually really good. And as we saw from, I think it was last time, people have been using that for speedrun, because that's...
Yep.
Because, like, again, it runs off momentum. Mario in this game has momentum, a little bit of momentum, so if you're on a hill and you're rolling, you'll fucking go.
But it's not Sonic momentum. It's just it's Mario momentum.
Because also if you're rolling, you have no control, and you're basically, if you off a cliff, you're dead.
Right, you just go straight, whatever direction you're already going.
This is a bit of a side thing, but like for Sonic Forces, can I make my Sonic Forces OC Sonic the Hedgehog but possessed by Mario?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because you can
put the hat on him, give him a mustache.
Yeah, look almost exactly like Sonic, and then you just and they have the hat, so...
They have a hat, but it's not the Mario hat. But yeah,
I don't know about mustache, but...
Yeah, they do. Hedgehog is a thing, as a species you could be, so...
You can definitely get close.
I mean, we'll find out in about a week. So we'll
if anything, wouldn't you want to be Eggman possessed by Mario, though?
Why would I want to be Eggman? He's a mean boy.
Because Eggman has big nips.
First of all, what? Second of all, speaking of big things...
Wait, before we move on to that, so final Mario impressions? Give me a little...
I want to play more of it. I've been watching the Vine
yeah.
stuff. I've been watching Vinny stream it, because I want to get Moon, man. I've been like... But I was playing that yesterday a little bit after I finished some stuff.
Right.
I'm just having fun just sort of exploring the world, because I'm just about to finish the Sand world. I think I have enough moves to actually like go to the next world once I'm done. But I want to explore more. I want to
get those moons.
I want to get all 69 moons in the Sand Kingdom.
69. Nice. Speaking of things that are nice.
Speaking of, yes.
There's a fuckload of games out.
There kind of is, isn't there?
That aren't Mario, surprisingly.
October 27th. Shit ton of games came out.
And all of these games are games I can't play anytime soon, so fuck you
October 27?
7th.
Alright, so I'm going to mention the games that I've written here on this list of games that are out now. Wolfenstein 2, Kill Nazis. I'm pretty sure that's the subtitle for that game. Destiny 2. Destiny
Kill
again.
Space Nazis.
Yeah, Space Nazis. That's Assassin's Creed Origins.
Actually, wait, no. Wolfenstein has the Space Nazis. Fuck.
Egyptian Nazis.
Kill Egyptian Nazis. Just Dance 2018. Dance against Nazis.
So hold on, I want.
And then Bubsy.
I want to check something with Just Dance.
Then Bubsy is almost coming out, which we all know that Bubsy is a Nazi.
I'm not gonna lie, I put Just Dance 2018 on here just because I saw that was out, and I was like, really?
Yeah, but it says Just Dance 2018, so that's next year it comes out.
But it's out now.
Wow.
No, that means it comes out next year, right?
I just wanted to be sure with Just Dance, because you know how, like, sort of like with sports games, Just Dance seems to come on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Tentosa's good news. You can play Just Dance on your Wii.
I'm not playing Just Dance.
But you
hate to
said
break that
you
to
can't
you.
play any of these games, and you're wrong. You can play Just Dance 2018 right now if you wanted to.
Alright, let me rephrase that. I can't play the ones I want to play, and the one that I don't, well, the two I don't want to play, I don't care about.
Alright, so
I'm still surprised it's coming out on the Wii U of all things. That's really fucked
Alright,
up.
listen, I really, really, really want to play Wolfenstein, but I can't, because I need a better computer to do that.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, if you wait a few months, you could probably just still Switch and play that version.
true.
I'm not buying a console for one game.
No, but you can buy it for 4 or 5 games.
I cannot play a first-person shooter on a fucking console.
I don't know.
I can't.
I did it for a long time.
I cannot do that anymore.
No, I agree
That's
with
my
you because
point.
I tried playing New Doom on the PS4, could not aim worth the shit, and I bought a PC.
Yeah.
To your credit, Maggie, there's a reason that I waited to buy Destiny for PC, aside from the fact that I don't own a PS4. So, let me just throw out some things I've heard really quickly about these games. Destiny 2, I'm not going to talk about because I'm going to talk about that later. But, and it's also only the PC release. I'm sure people know the PS4 version came out like almost a month ago or more than a month ago. I don't know. Wolfenstein 2. I heard that it's pretty good. It seems people are excited about it. A lot of people seem to think the beginning of the game is pretty fucking gruesome. There is some really dark, gory torture porn shit at the very beginning of the game that people don't seem to be super into. That being said, they also ran a campaign for this game about punching Nazis in the face and killing them, which, I mean, I'm pretty into that part, so, you know.
I mean, it seems kind of redundant for a Wolfenstein game, but hey, this is welcome
well,
to...
it's relevant right now.
I know.
Yeah.
My favorite thing for Wolfenstein is during the advertisement for the game, they kept doing ads like "kill Nazis," and then Bethesda would come out and be like, "We do not condone violence against," because Bethesda are pussies.
Right, and then they would put out another ad that's like, "We don't like Nazis. We like punching Nazis. Fuck Nazis. Kill all the
Yeah.
Nazis."
So someone is having fun with their job, and then
Yeah.
Bethesda really doesn't want them to.
Just whatever. Someone's
But
happy.
I heard it's really good. People seem to like it. It's sort of a continuation of the first game. Looks good. That much I can say from the footage I have seen.
Can't wait to play that next year on the Switch.
Looks way better than Wolfenstein 1, which I won't say looked bad, but was probably not, I wouldn't call it like
That game was
piece de
kind of
resistance.
janky looking because that was the first time they used that engine, and they really weren't
No,
sure about it.
isn't that engine just basically the one from Rage?
I
Engine.
could have sworn that it was a different one from that, but you might be right.
I think it uses like the same kind of technology, like the whole one big texture thing.
The mega textures?
Mega textures.
Yes, the
Hyper.
huge
Then
texture.
yeah, that's pretty much just id Tech then.
Giga.
The thick
Super
textures.
turbo textures.
'Cause, I mean, if it's id Tech, then yeah, they probably used that same version before. I don't know what version they're on now.
Ultra Textures Arcade Edition version 2012.
Anyway.
And then Assassin's Creed Origins, I have heard it seems like people don't really like this one.
I heard nothing about this game.
I heard that the combat in this one, although I won't say that this wasn't true for a lot of the other ones, is really mashy and not great, and that all these RPG systems that they have added to lootify the game and whatever are kind of pointless because the combat is so easy and trivial anyway that it doesn't really matter. Although I will say people seem to like the setting a lot. It seems like people are super behind the Egypt setting.
I remember, like, before it came out, I heard a lot of people say it looked interesting, and then it came out, and I didn't hear anything from it, and I am just gonna say, if you are surprised that the combat is bad in this, you have not played Assassin's Creed before.
I saw like a 2-sentence review of this game on Twitter the other day that was, should you buy Assassin's Creed Origins? And the answer was, and then there was like a little tree, and on the left was, is the educational mode out? And it goes down as if it's yes, then it says, yeah, if it's on sale, sure, go for it. And then on the right was no, and it says, no, don't buy this. So.
Oh yeah, it didn't launch with the educational mode, did it?
No, it did not.
Huh.
The thing that sounded the most interesting, they didn't fucking have.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how interesting it will actually be, because I bet they're not gonna put that much effort into it, but
You're
since
gonna
I
have
think
to
it's free.
pay microtransactions
It is a free.
to learn.
Is it a DLC, like paid DLC?
I could have sworn it was free DLC, but
Well,
if
we'll
I remember
find
correctly, when we announced that it was free DLC.
Okay, that's good.
Speaking of
Well, wait,
characters making
then
you pay,
the other two,
that was a good segue.
I don't have any news for it, so go ahead with your segue.
Actually, hold on. If I could just make one thing real quick.
Yeah.
About all these
Yes.
games. So, I think it was Wario64. He posted a picture on Twitter, like, saying, I wonder what people are buying today. Because, like, Friday, there was, like, it was a little small card of games, but it was, like, 3 rows filled with Mario Odyssey.
Woo.
One, like, half a row filled with, like, Wolfenstein, and a third of a row was just, like, Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
I had to find that picture because that was really funny to me.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your transition now.
Oh, am I allowed to now?
Yeah.
Huh? Alright. Speaking of characters that will try to steal your money with bad business practices and microtransactions, you ruined it. I lost it.
No, you just did it. That was clearly the transition.
Tom Nook can now steal your real hard-earned money, just like your fake hard-earned money, because he's a prick.
I've been waiting for this day, for the day that Tom Nook would come and get me.
Finally, while you're playing, you can play an Animal Crossing game, and Tom Nook can show up at your actual house with a bat and be like, hey, guess what, fucker? You owe me money.
Now I just gotta wait for the day that Mr. Rossetti will come and actually kill me if I reset my smartphone.
Oh, no.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I believe that's the name, which is a mobile Animal Crossing. It's coming out in late November, and there was a direct about it.
Unless you're in Australia, which is already out now.
Well, fuck Australians, am I right?
I'm kind of like conflicted about this because like it looks neat and I like Animal Crossing, but I fucking hate microtransactions at this point.
So, hey, good news about that. They will probably announce an actual Animal Crossing at this year's E3.
All right, but is it going to be on the computer?
No.
Well then,
Why would you? So, mobile games, yeah.
Here's the thing. Hear me out. I think that this is the perfect platform for Animal Crossing, and I'll tell you why.
Because you're dumb and you don't like fun.
In regular Animal Crossing, you still have to just sit and wait for shit to happen all the time.
No, you don't. You take the fucking system clock and you move it forward.
Yeah, but I don't do that because I don't need to play Animal Crossing that way. That's not part of it for me. I can just play a little bit, do the things I would do, and then go to sleep, and then play it, and then do other stuff with my day, and then go next day and play a little bit that day. So
yeah, well,
to me,
good for you.
This is perfect, and I don't. While I get thinking that the microtransactions are terrible, and you're not wrong because they are. At the same time, from what I have seen of the timers and things like that, they're actually shorter than Animal Crossing timers, like regular Animal Crossing timers. For like building stuff, for example, or fruits,
I thought building stuff was like 3 days. I thought like one was like 72 hours.
I haven't seen any that are 72 hours yet, but that might be for some of the really big stuff. Like,
well, I mean, they did show one, like the pool. They showed on direct. It was like 3 days.
I was gonna say the pool, but that's like the equivalent of like building a new house. So I kind of get it.
Well, a new house just takes 24 hours in the actual games.
Sure, but my point is that they're obviously scaling this to a smartphone sense, and they want you to microtransact with it. So I get why they do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the problem.
I don't agree with the really long ones like that.
If you have microtransactions in your game, you're designing your game to make people want to spend money on it.
So, to some extent, I think you're right. But then look at the other timers. Like, for example, renowned shitty games journalist who got in trouble for being a serial harasser, Nick Robinson posted, oh, look at these timers. Oh, it's so awful on the fruit trees. And the timer was like, he picked fruit, and then it was like 3 hours.
See,
until you could pick it again. And that's actually shorter than regular Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
so
that's actually why bitch about that. That seems kind of a good thing.
Yeah,
well,
so the whole
that's
point
good
is
for
like,
that one thing, but like, there's an entire other game besides just trees.
Yes, but here's why that's relevant, is because the actual activities that you do in Animal Crossing are the things like picking fruit and fishing and whatever, right? So as long as the timers and everything on that stuff isn't really long, I don't see the problem because that's how you actually interact with the game. Just building stuff at your house, like waiting, like having to like go to bed, like getting to like go through the process of getting the materials to build stuff, doing all that, which is the actual gameplay, then going, building the stuff, and then going to sleep and waking up the next morning and having it done doesn't seem like an issue to me. That, like, I'm fine with that, honestly. And the more that I looked at this game and saw stuff about it, the less I felt like, wow, I'm going to need to spend money on this game. And the more I felt like, wow, I could probably play this game and spend almost no money on the microtransactions. So,
From what we've seen, but we haven't gotten to
So
play the
people
game.
have
yet.
played this game already. Toddy, friend of the podcast, hashtag
Right.
has played this game before.
and
already.
people have actually even made Australian iOS accounts to play this game.
Or
already.
if you're on Android, just download the APK.
Right.
I also kind of have a problem with doing what they're doing with Tom Nook.
So
I think it's funny.
we should probably clarify a thing real quick. The bells in the game are not microtransactions. It's a whole different system they
I know.
have set up.
I know how they have it set up, but
But I mean, like, for people who are just listening.
they built up a character for Tom Nook that's like he wants your money,
Well, he's a greedy raccoon.
and then
What's
and
your
now
name?
he
it's
wants
kind of
your
like
money.
it's like a funny, laughable kind of thing.
And now
And
it's actually
then
now
now
it's actually
he's
real.
actually like they're using that like character development to manipulate you into spending real money, which now it's not okay to do that.
I don't know. I kind of like it. Honestly, it's scary
if,
in a
if
good
like
way.
the other games, he wouldn't actually like nag you. That's just the meme with old Nuki. Like, he'll pop up and like say hello and then just disappear again.
That being said, you say that they're separate economies, and you're mostly right. But there is one instance in which that is not true. So the way that basically what you buy with your money in this game is you buy these things called leaf tickets, which are things you can spend to either buy materials. So the new system in this game, rather than just you can go to a store and just buy furniture and stuff. That is a thing you can do. But also, the main way that you make stuff, it seems like, this is sort of what was implied from the footage I've seen and what I've heard from people who've played it, is that the main way to make stuff is crafting. So you get materials to make the thing that you want, and then you make it. And you can use these leaf tickets either to substitute for any kind of material you want, or you can use them to make the amount of time that something takes to be built or whatever reduced. But there's also one other use for leaf tickets that they kind of slipped in there, which is that you can use them to go to a quarry and mine for rare minerals, which you can then sell for bells.
Okay, so that's it.
So
So instead of just hitting a random rock in your village, you have to go
Thi-
mining.
this was where I kind of was like, because this makes me wonder what the bells economy is going to be like. If you are in this game running out of bells and needing to do that, then I can see where these microtransactions get kind of gross and scary. But from what I've seen so far, it still seems okay. So I'll have to judge when it comes out.
I also kind of heard you need to do stuff with other people to really get anywhere.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
Animal Crossing in general. Because, like,
I
if you want
didn't hear that at all.
You could play all the other ones without even fucking doing any of the multiplayer shit.
What do you mean? The only thing, as far as I can tell, the only thing that you get from other people is visiting their place, and they give you a kudos, which does nothing.
You can also, people can set up their own, like, markets to sell things. If
Okay.
you want to buy something from them, you can do that.
So really, it's just if you want to buy something cheaper, someone might sell it to
Or
you for cheaper.
more.
then-
Like, if you had this real
Right.
item, they can just gut you out of it.
So, but my point is that that doesn't affect your actual gameplay in any way. So I don't see how that's.
So, one of those things we'll find out more, but it'll be up by the end of November. Everywhere.
In a couple podcasts from now, I'll be able to talk about it, I'm sure.
I just want to say that I don't trust Nintendo to do this right because they don't even understand how fucking YouTube works.
No,
So I don't trust them to understand how
I mean,
mobile
I don't know.
microtransactions
No, they've done
work.
this fine. Freaking Fire Emblem's been doing fine as it is. They tried to do the you buy once thing, and no one bought it. See Mario Run. People were actually bitching in the comments in the review section, like, "Why did I pay $5 for this?" Like, free to
I
play.
thought Mario Run was good, dude, because that
It
was
was, but, like,
cheaper and better than all this.
It
other
is, but the problem
garbage.
is, like, if you read the reviews for it, like, the average person who plays mobile games won't touch it because it's like, it's not free, so why would I?
Right.
I mean, it's free to start, but then you're locked out. Like, why would I pay for this?
But the average person that plays mobile games are older people that don't play games like Mario anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Or really young people.
It's either really young people or really old people. That's
like,
really who does it the most.
Mm-hmm. So when they try to do the like a regular attempt at just like, here's just a one-time purchase, no one really bought the damn thing after
But
the
it doesn't
initial
exactly. Like, this is their market is people who will buy the game. So the more people they can get to buy the game, they're gonna go.
Basically, the mobile games market is extremely volatile, and it will just fall apart one day because half your audience is old and is gonna die, and then the other half is gonna grow up and probably stop playing.
We need to move on.
Mm-hmm. So,
and that's why nothing matters, everybody. Speaking of
Nintendo things.
Speaking of things that actually do matter.
Oh, is it Nintendo?
Yeah.
It is Nintendo related. Hit me with this article.
Fuck yeah, man. So, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is coming to the Switch.
That's right. Someone remembered that Shin Megami Tensei was also a series along with Persona and was like, oh, I guess we should make another one of those, huh?
Well, I mean, they always remember. The problem is it was on the 3DS.
Well, the last one they made was an expansion sort of thing to 4, which, although it was technically a new game, my understanding is that it wasn't a completely new game, so...
I mean, 4 sold pretty well, all things considered.
4 is great. I enjoy 4, but my point is that it's... Making 4-2 is not the same as making a new SMT.
I know, but the idea is that we're finally getting off the handheld of a 3DS and onto something that's on a console, per se.
Just like with Monster Hunter, we're finally moving on from handheld. And it looks good. The trailer was really cool. There is not a lot to it. I'm not gonna lie.
I think this is supposed to be out next year. Is that what they said?
I think that's right. I'm not
sure.
So
also the benefit of this is that unlike the 3DS, it says the Switch is region free. So if it ever gets fucked again, they can just import from the US.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you also do it from Japan, but then it means having to read that and then have fun with that.
Yeah. So, basically, it was really more of just an announced trailer. They didn't show any gameplay as far as I could tell.
Nah.
And we didn't even see like a protagonist or anything.
I just the two people walking through like fucked up Japan were the protagonists, or
maybe.
Implied.
But we don't even really see them. Is my point. Like we just get a back view of them. And
yeah, that's all we really see.
Yeah.
But basically we're going to Japan that's fucked up again.
So it was really just some music in the announce. But hey, it's coming. You're gonna get an SMT game in the future. Speaking of spooky things, like SMT monsters.
It's another thing that I've never seen.
Stranger Things, Season 2, is out. Do you know what that is? Well, if you don't, you've probably seen the meme somewhere, which is the text from the title screen, and then someone writes something else with it.
Stranger Things is a show about a man named Scully.
It's already wrong.
Who is with the other lady that I
Patently
can't remember
false.
the name.
Mulder.
And they fuck with an alien or something, and then the xenomorph comes out of her vagina and eats his face.
And then what does Mulder say?
Now that's what I call a xenomorph. And then
that's it.
There's an audience laugh and clap, and then it ends.
Alright, so that's all you need to know about Stranger Things 2. No, yeah, it's a interesting story set in the... Hey, when did Terminator come out?
Late 80s?
70s, maybe. Late 70s. Maybe.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Wait, hold on, the movie? I think like 80...
The original movie, October 26th, 1984.
Alright.
So, I don't think that they really specified in the first series. They didn't really make it super obvious exactly when it was set. Well, guess what? They do in this one, because The Terminator is in theaters, and they show that. So
nice.
It's set in the mid '80s, and it's a story that is a story about supernatural occurrences around a town involving some kids and their families, basically, and a cop. And it's really good. If you haven't seen the first season, I highly recommend seeing it. I'm gonna try talking about this without really giving away many spoilers at all. I watched a few episodes already. I watched, I guess, 4, I think, episodes of the new season. There are... It is a returning cast, meaning, it's not like it's not a setup like with... what was that series? True Detective. That was popular a while ago. It's not like they're doing, different people in the same town or a different town with crazy stuff happening.
Oh, you mean it's not like ruining the show completely and just changing it and making it weird?
Right. Instead, it's the same cast in... Actually, season 3 of... Well, whatever. It's the same cast. I was going to say Fargo did what True Detective didn't do really well. It's the same cast, basically, returning, and yeah, there's some new characters too. From what I have seen, it's pretty good. I will say that it does not have nearly as strong of a start as season 1 did. But I think that's partly just because there's supernatural shit going on, whereas in season 1 it's more obscure and something that sort of surfaces over the course of the series. So because you already know that that's an element of it, it's reveals of that stuff.
So,
there isn't really a reveal as much.
So what you're saying is, as someone who's never watched Stranger Things, you've just ruined a big plot point of it, and now I'm never gonna watch it, and everything's pointless.
They even bill it as a supernatural thing. It's just the thing that is supernatural about it is out in the open in the beginning of season 2. So because of that, it's not as suspenseful as season 1, I think. But
listen, one day I might have gotten Netflix again. All right, one day.
You don't need Netflix to watch the show.
And by Netflix, I mean the Pirate Bay.
There was a day one torrent of this entire series, by the way, up on the torrent site that I go to. So
go figure. I mean, I have Netflix,
what do you mean,
but I never
Mike?
use
it. You mean you watched it on Netflix legally, right?
I did.
Mike?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Right, Mark. You also watched it legally, right?
I mean, I have Netflix, but I just don't use my account.
But I did watch it on Netflix. But yeah, it's good. The first episode I thought was I just was sort of missing the atmosphere of the first season, but after watching a few, I think it sort of got back in its groove and was really good, and I like the new characters. So all in all, I would recommended watch. From
the plot twist with the xenomorph coming out of the vagina was a bit weird at the end, but all in all, it was pretty good.
Speaking of,
oh yes, I love anime.
Bad touches to vaginas.
That was a great one.
So, whatever fucking begins.
I would have gone with, speaking of horrible monsters that should be exterminated.
Yeah, that too. Have you guys heard of NeoGAF?
Yeah, it was a site that you have to fucking send in an application to post on. And
yeah, do you know what it stands for?
Some cunt that's terrible.
Neo, and then what does GAF stand for?
Gaming Age Forums.
You can't. You said at the same time that he said the answer.
God damn it! Gaming
Age Forums. Makes it mysterious.
Yeah, just keep talking over each other. That's perfect for my.
For fuck's sake!
It's the Gaming Age Forums.
Yeah, what he said.
Which are a thing from the 90s, which was a magazine, if I remember correctly. Anyway, some people took over from those old internet forums and made a new forum. And it was a very popular video game forum for a while. Mm-hmm. Just like any popular video game forum, it was full of really shitty people. And
eventually the user base also got really shitty, too.
Sure, I'm sure it was shitty from the start. And that being said, it was never an issue until recently, because as they found out, owner of the site, Evilore, is his
handle.
Evil, O-R-E, was caught having done some very shitty stuff.
So,
in the wake of the #MeToo campaign on Twitter.
So we should put more context into this. Evilore has been accused many times before, but the problem is this is back in the early, after 2010 or 2012. He has been accused before, but because it was posted on his forums, he quickly shushed it up and banned whoever accused him. No, this is the same forum that also gave us the pedophile moderator, who was caught internally in prison. So hey, who did also similar shitty things. People accused him. Boy, it goes a long way.
Basically, suffice to say, this guy has been accused of doing stuff before, but through any number of reasons, that never happened. And instead, what did end up happening was that he, shushed it up, or his other mod friends didn't believe him or whatever, and ultimately, it passed without any incident. This time, that's not what happened. This time, the person in question who I actually have this information. If you want to look it up, you can. You really want to find out, you can find out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was necessary to actually mention who it is or talk about it, because it doesn't really change the ultimate story, which is that a friend of his who decided to stay in a hotel room with him for a convention, who is a girl, and they were in a platonic relationship. There was no hooking up of any kind at this time with them, and at the time she had a boyfriend. So they went for a night of drinking, whatever, got drunk, went back to the hotel room. She went to the bathroom because she had drank too much and needed to throw up. So she went to the bathroom, started puking in the toilet, as you do, and I guess Evil Lore thought, man, this is a great time to get buck naked and approach her in a interested fashion while she is puking in this toilet on the floor, throwing up from being too drunk, and she has a boyfriend.
I thought she was in the shower when it was all happening.
That's not my understanding. I think what happened was she puked all over the place,
And then she went to go take a shower.
and then maybe she got undressed to take a shower, and then he came in. That's my understanding. So
I know there's more to this, but we're getting the whole
the
point
is
he's a
she was not inviting him to come in any way. She just was super sick and needed to be in the bathroom and whatever. And for some reason, he thought that was his opportunity. Which already, if your friend is super drunk, you shouldn't be approaching them anyway that way, right? Because that's already shitty. But he did that. She was not interested in it. And it actually passed without incident. She didn't report him, nothing like that. And it wasn't enough of an issue for her that she felt the need to get him in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. So then this campaign happened on Twitter, which is the #MeToo campaign, which is about women who've been sexually harassed and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So in response to that campaign, she posted on her own Facebook page, not on Twitter for everyone to see, right? Just for her friends on Facebook. She posted a post that was, #MeToo, here's what happened, just to share her experience and to get it off her chest, not to try to, get him or anything, right? Mm-hmm. Her friends saw this post, and actually she later realized that it was publicly viewable on her Facebook and actually switched it to private, not realizing that, which, boy, this is a whole another problem I have with Facebook, but whatever. Mm-hmm. And people just started posting Imager links of it everywhere, and they discovered it, and then it became a big thing. Mod team found out about it at NeoGAF, and so what do you think they did? Did they just shush it up like always and dip?
Not this time. So, basically also what happened is that Evil Lord did find out about the Facebook post. He tried to get a statement to his the admins and the mods there. They didn't buy it. So they said, fuck him, and they all left it. It was basically a big exodus out of NeoGAF. They
had enough evidence from this post, and I think my understanding is maybe they also sort of talked to friends of hers or her about the incident, and when they heard the overwhelming evidence against him and his shitty response, they were basically like, yeah, fuck off, and they dipped. Not one or two of them, all of them. Mm-hmm. So with no moderation team, almost immediately NeoGAF turned into a huge blow up, and everybody was asking to be banned and posting all sorts of whatever they wanted and etc.
It eventually started bleeding into to the off topic, which is a whole another mess that NeoGAF is involved with. But basically, the gaming site found out, started spreading. This all happened last week, by the way, last Saturday. This all kind of just blew up, and then everyone else started finding out. It was basically a fun mess, just seeing everyone just going "fuck you," ban me, and a bunch of shit posting on the GAF.
Yeah, and it was enough of a blow up that the forums basically died.
Yeah, it was also got DDoS, and then eventually there was under
Right.
quote unquote maintenance for a couple of days.
Now, my understanding is that Evilor plans to, having been interviewed by Kotaku, I read an article about this, plans to continue running it, and is like basically like, fuck all y'all, I'm still going, like, come back. And he had his own statements to make about.
Did he?
The way you
Boy,
fucking
it's
said
just-
He
so
sure did, and he had his own statements to make about the whole situation too. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't believe them. So
I really like to imagine that is exactly what he said. He's like, hey, I'm still going. Fuck all y'all. Come back.
The statement was like he was pretty much just pushing the blame on her,
right,
and everyone who, with any sense was like, man, wow, you're a fucking asshole.
yep.
So the shit supposed to continue, just like mocking, like, so hey, what game could I just go into a shower and just talk to this chick, like post like that, and then of course we have our favorite band, the Goat Man, show up. It was like so after the forum went back up, it was just basically just chaos for a couple of days.
Yeah, and I don't know what this other thing that you said here is. I don't know what this is. But,
So along with bringing back the forums back, he also closed down Off Topic, which was like he believes. Well, actually, a lot of people believe there's also to be a main problem with NeoGAF, where it got so far up its ass about believing what's right.
to be clear, what you're talking about is there was an off-topic forum within NeoGAF, which meaning not related to video games. So.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, stuff like movies, sports, but the main thing considered was like it was political talk, which like around like 2014, 15 was starting to blow up even more on the site, to the point where like if you happen to just disagree just a little bit with the mods for people there, they would pretty much just like, what's the word for it? Torches and pitchforks. Like,
mob you.
Just like rage you, something like that. It got to the point where like,
but also it was
go ahead.
It was a wretched hive of scum and villainy. One of those places where, a lot of gamer gators would go and et cetera, and all that sort of garbage. So they would get banned for going there, but it attracted those types very much.
I mean, even the regular people who were trying to be helpful were like being like just horrible people as well.
Right.
Basically, either side was just being like assholes. But basically, a good chunk of this after the Evil Lord got found out, a good chunk of the people on the site went to emergency discords and decided to come over to another forum, which is what I have here, which is Reset Era, which is the pretty much where anyone who wants a NeoGAF without the guy can go to.
Without the guy, that guy, the one. So Reset Era, okay.
So Reset Era is basically trying to be the new GAF, which, reading some of the posts on their Discord and stuff like that, I don't know if it's gonna last. It's just like,
I gotta be honest. I think it's just end of an era, but we'll see.
I mean, it's the Reset Era. Get it?
All right.
But basically, yeah, it is pretty much just trying to be new GAF. Well, I think current GAF currently is slowly dying because I think the funny thing I'm reading
I
more
don't think
information.
they're slowly dying. I think they're dead and slowly not reviving.
And hear me out. So apparently what's happening is that Evil Lord has also been trying to like unlock old topics or old threads that got deleted.
Who cares?
Locked. No, like he's trying to make it seem like it's active.
Oh, I get it.
So like people are like, oh, this forum's not dead. Just look. It's just seems like at this point we're looking in the eyes of a man who's just gone delusional.
I think he was probably delusional from day one. Well, I'm going to talk about video games now.
Please.
Speaking of terrible choices and bad,
Yeah, actually, yes, really.
So please, tell us how Destiny 2 has gone for you.
So here's what I did this week. I played Destiny 2. Have you guys heard of it? It's the second Destiny that I have. I had the first Destiny, and now this is my second one.
I'm waiting for the next game that you're going to say that you played.
I don't have one. So
you play Destiny 2 for 24/7, huh?
Yeah. So I'm gonna read what I wrote here. Help me. Someone help me escape this endless abyss of grinding for gear to get to 265 light so I can do exotic quests and eventually do the raid, only to then end my life in a spectacular fashion. So I think that's a pretty good summary of Destiny 2. But if you want to get into it, Destiny 1 is a game that I played a lot of, and I like. There are elements to it that I don't like, and there are elements to Destiny 2 that I really don't like. But overall, the core gameplay loop of shoot guys, get shit, shoot more guys, I'm into that. It's way the gunplay and everything, in my opinion, is way better than a Borderlands or any of that stuff. It's really fun and feels good.
I'm just gonna say for the gunplay to be better than Borderlands, that's not really a lot.
No, no, it's not. That's a very low bar to set, but it's better than a lot of other FPSs too.
Would you
So,
describe to me this being about as good as Halo 2 on PC?
I will not say that it is as good as Halo 2 because I have, rose tinted glasses for that game. Having that was a really huge game for me, but it's more Halo 1, but definitely Halo 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that the gameplay is very similar to Halo in terms of the way that it plays. Like, there's, floaty jumps, that's very much a thing. Most classes either have a sort of a boost jump where you hover for a bit as you're jumping, or they have a double jump or something like that, or they have like a jet jump or something of that sort. So jumping isn't just a straightforward FPS like up, down, done sort of
Maybe
deal.
it would make sense considering, again, this is made by Bungie.
Right, and it's set in space and the future and etc. You have laser guns. You have, uh, you have like basically you have a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary, which is more like a power weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have you can melee, but that's not your melee is a whole other thing that has to do with the class skills.
Right.
And you have 3 base classes, which are basically tanky dude who's meant to get shot a bit and also deal good damage. Sort of squishy guy who has strong abilities, and mage type character who is also squishy but has more of like, fireballs and stuff instead of sort of like, more technical abilities, right? Or I guess I would call the second guy more like speedy guy, and they're Titan, Hunter, and Warlock are the name of the classes.
Right.
All that carries over from Destiny 1. Within those classes, there are 3 different skill tree sets you can go down. So I'm just going to talk about the one that I did. I don't want to get too deep into this, but so for Warlock, you can do Void, which is basically like dark energy shit where like, for the fireball, you can like do like a cluster grenade, or for the grenades, you can either have a cluster grenade or a grenade that has like seeking projectiles, or a grenade that just sort of locks down an area and does damage over time. You can have a jump you can have like some sort of regular hovery jumps that Warlock has, or you can actually have a teleport jump where you just jump and then you blink a distance and then you reappear. And for the super, it's like this big fucking fireball Hadoken move that you shoot out and creates a big void explosion. There's also a class that's where your super is instead you gain like fiery wings on your back, and you get a flaming sword, and you swing it to like throw out sword projectiles at people for a while. And then the last one is Arc, which is like the super is I could go super into all of this stuff, but I'm just gonna mostly describe what it's about. The super is like you get into a form where you're floating off the ground. You can shoot electricity out of your hands like the Emperor from Star Wars, basically. And you can like throw a grenade that calls lightning down or whatever in an area. So there's a good amount of difference between the 3 different subsets in the classes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of elements to this game that are bad. Here's a great example. You don't have access to all those classes right away. When you start the game, the story in these games is really bad. Or the lore, I think, is good, actually. And I think the world building and stuff like that is really cool.
Yeah, I love the lore of being told to go on to Bungie's website and read.
That's all gone now.
Oh, they actually put it in the video game?
Yeah. But also,
It's just the way it's structured is just kind of awful.
The designs and everything, for enemies, for the worlds, for all that, it's really cool. I just think that the actual written dialogue stuff is bad. It's not good. Which makes you want to skip it, and in that case, you miss out on some of the other lore stuff, which sucks, because that stuff is some of the cool stuff. That being said, I did beat the quote-unquote story of Destiny. The ending is predictable and not super exciting. When you beat the ending, you get to a new hub area you get access to. It's a relatively familiar one. And yeah, like there's a lot of really bad stuff in that game. Like the fact that you don't have access to all the classes at first, and unlocking them requires you to get a random drop item, which seems to be pretty common still, but you literally have to get a random drop item and then kill a ton of enemies or grind public events, which are basically like they're kind of like fates from Final Fantasy 14, if you know what that is. If you don't, that's fine. But it basically just means...
So they're terrible, huh?
Yeah, so it says a quest that like you hang out in an area and like do a thing for a bit out in the open world, not in an instance. And when it's done, you get like some, sort of lazy small reward for it.
You have to do it for about 5,000 hours to make any real progress.
You sure do, and you actually do in Destiny too, because even ignoring the class stuff, where you have to unlock the classes just to be able to play as them, there's also this element of light. So the concept is like, when you get to level 20, which right now is the level cap, although they actually said this time that will not always be the level cap. We will raise the level cap at some point. But right now, that's the level cap. And basically the idea is when you get to level 20, then the way that you measure your progress is not through leveling anymore. It's through quote-unquote light, which is basically gear score from MMOs, if you know what that is. So the better your gear is, the higher your light level. Mm-hmm. And the best way to raise your light level, at least right now, and to get better gear and to move forward with all that stuff, is to grind the shit out of public events, which sucks. There's other little activities you can do along the way, like, grabbing hidden caches and doing, I forget what they're called, patrol missions and stuff like that, in order to get coins, which you spend at reputation vendors to get legendaries, which are purples, which are the second highest level of gear. And you do all this, and you basically just spend like 5 to 6 hours, depending on your luck, grinding gear to get to 265 light, which you need to do, because if you don't get to that level, and then you try to get exotics, which are the super high level rarest items, and you get them at a lower level, then you'll never be able to get higher than 265 light, because that's really the only way you can get higher than that. And you need to do that to be stronger, to be able to do higher level stuff. Uh-huh. So it's this whole, like, God, the economy is so bad, and this time they've changed stuff like now shaders, which are things that you use to color your armor and guns. The cool thing is you can color each piece of armor individually now, and your gun individually. That sounds really good, right? But the problem is now, shaders are not unlimited use. They're all one-time use items. Okay? So now you have to find...
And they also only last a certain amount of time, right?
No. They last as long... You put it on and it's on until you change it.
Oh,
but
okay,
but the thing is that it's limited use. So let's say you find 2 of a shader, but you have 5 pieces of armor. So...
Yeah, so you can't color everything.
You can't even color everything
more.
that color until you find more.
And I heard that the things that give you a bunch of them, they give you exactly one less than you need for a full set.
No, it's completely random. So whoever said that is wrong, because as somebody who's been doing this for a while now, it's literally just completely random how many you've got. I've gotten 5 in a drop before, but it is literally 100% random, so it's worthless. Sometimes you get 2, sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 4, sometimes you get 5, sometimes you get 1. And yeah, it sucks. And all the cosmetic stuff now has real money transactions attached to it. You don't have to use them. So once you get to level 20 You get some bright spheres, which are basically treasure chests that contain cosmetics in them. And you can, every time when you're level 20, you still gain experience. And it doesn't seem like it increases the amount you need. I might be wrong about that, but it doesn't seem like it does. So every time you fill up your experience bar again, instead of leveling up, because you can't, obviously, anymore, since you're at cap, you get a bright sphere, which is a, treasure chest with these consumable items in it. So you can technically grind out cosmetics for your character. But you can also just buy them with real money in a game that is already a $60 product. And it feels cheap and shitty and not good.
Wow, Activision did something kind of shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, who would have fucking thought that a company that patented a system to make you buy more microtransactions would do something shitty with microtransactions?
Yeah. So there are like so many caveats to this game, and I almost can't recommend like buying this game in a sense. Like, especially I would say if you haven't already played Destiny, I really can't recommend this game to you because it's just, there's a lot of really scummy and grindy and bad shit about it. That being said, if you liked Destiny 1, like I did, this is more of that, and in my opinion, especially the environments and the new enemy types and stuff like that are really cool and exciting. So if you like Destiny 1, this is more of that and arguably better in my opinion. Although, I would say right now, Destiny 1 has way more content than Destiny 2 does.
Well, yeah, they're not a bit longer, but...
Right, and they have all those expansions and stuff. So,
right.
Once there's a couple of expansions attached to this, I could be more positive about saying, get this game at a $60 price tag. As like a Game of the Year edition type thing. But, as it is, man, it's kind of a mess right now. But it's fun. Despite that, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So... But it's like that weird, addictive, kind of bad fun, a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, like Overwatch.
One very important question, actually.
Yeah.
Can you find a random trader that's still voiced by Peter Stormare for some reason?
I mean, they took him out of the first game.
So are you talking about Xur?
I don't know. I just know he was a trader with like a few lines of dialogue, and that's it.
I think it's something else then. Never mind.
I don't know. I don't think Xur is voiced by him, but
there's a reason that Destiny 1 cost like $500 million to make, and it's because they're very dumb and they spent the money back.
Hey, you know what that reminds me of? I didn't like the music very much in Destiny 1. I thought it was pretty boring. I won't say that the music in this game is amazing, but it's better than Destiny 1. So, yeah, that was literally all I did this week, so eat shit.
Jesus.
Oh, actually, the only other gaming-related thing that I did this week was I got a 120 gigabyte SD card and installed every 3DS game that I own.
Nice.
On my 3DS.
I should
Mark.
do that.
Hey, can you install every 3DS game I own? Real quick?
But what you been gaming,
just
Mark?
hold on.
No.
It's real quick.
No.
What?
You're already done, actually.
Mark, what you been gaming?
Okay. I actually bought like 3 or 4 games this week, crazy enough.
Wow.
Weird, because I don't play anything. So, I have yet to play it yet. I heard good things about it. I have bought Snake Pass on Switch.
Ah, yeah, that's the weird game where you use the snake to climb up stuff, right? And it's like...
Yes, it's made by Sumo Digital, who did the All-Star Racing games.
Yeah,
so,
that game
good
is
people.
Weird looking.
I've only seen footage of it. Because it was like $10 on Switch. Like, I can't pass that up.
Right.
I also rebought Shovel Knight, because it's also on sale.
Yep.
So, I played a little bit of the second campaign, which is Plague Knight. I don't like the way he controls at all.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Wait, what is Shovel Knight? Like, do you mean Butt Knight?
No.
Oh, yes, Butt. The greatest butt.
I don't think I get this meme.
No, so in Shovel Knight, if you name your profile Butt, it changes all the character names, the anything with shovel.
It changes a lot of words to butt.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
So Shovel Knight just becomes butt.
That's a lot.
And there's a quote in there just called the greatest butt. So.
It's my favorite dumb thing you can do in a video game that I've never played.
Yeah. So yeah, playing that because I actually beat Shovel Knight back when it came out. I bought it on. I actually sent money to the Kickstarter. I got the Wii U version. Surprise, surprise. So, but when I got the Switch, I was like, oh, I want that on the Switch now because I don't want to touch my Wii U anymore. So
There you go.
I rebought it for when it was on sale for like $20
Very
because
nice.
that'll come with the last expansion, which I think is coming out next year, King Knight.
Yeah, correct.
But anyway, Plague Knight, like I think he feels a bit slower than Shovel Knight. His bombs, I don't really like the way they arc or just how they move, and because he has this wonky like bomb jump.
Plague Knight, right? Yeah, I was thinking of
Spectre Knight.
Spectre Knight, yeah.
I want to try his gameplay.
I mean, they are very similar in theme.
I mean, one's a spooky scientist, the other one's just a spooky ghoul.
I haven't heard anything about Plague Knight, but I heard that people didn't love the Spectre Knight gimmick of wall run and then...
I actually, while I was watching Vinny play that, I actually kind of like that. I have yet to try it yet, though. But Plague Knight...
He looks cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I like the way they put that campaign together. But Plague Knight, it's because he has a mechanic where if you hold the attack button, you can do a bomb jump.
Oh,
and they're like, so you have basically just like large pits every now and then. Where if you fuck up, you just fall into the hole.
And die.
Mm-hmm. So I've yet to really figure out the mechanic properly because there are parts where you have to do the jump, attack the wall, and properly land again. Because if you attack and then you hold wide again while you're in the air, because you get a bit of air time if you do if you attack.
Right.
You can actually do it again, I think. So you can do like bomb jump, attack a couple times, hold it, and then jump again.
Whoa.
So every now and then I'll fuck that up and just fall into a pit. But like, I was finding a Spectre Knight in the game, I was having trouble trying to hit him. Because he's always swooping around, because you don't aim straight, you aim in an arc, you aim like diagonal.
Right.
So my shots always kept missing. Because if I'm doing the bomb jump, I automatically have Y hold. So I keep forgetting to hit Y again to attack. So it fucks me up.
That's really annoying.
And I don't really care for any like extra abilities. You have like, so you have an ability that gives you, it's a potion. You can just conjure it if you have enough magic.
Okay. What does it do?
Well, when you use it, any enemy you hit gets you like half a heart or half an orb heart, whatever.
Okay.
So it's handy during boss fights or when they spawn like, new enemies, like Spectre Knight does.
Sure.
So that's how I kind of survived the fight. Otherwise, I would have just died. So you do find vials in the level, which gives you like an extra container of heart, along with giving you a regular heart. Because you only start with 4 heart pieces or heart.
Oh, okay.
Orbs, whatever. Plague Knight has only 4 orbs, and you add 4 more through these little containers. So if you die, you lose them all. Well, the ones you have already like used. So it's one of those things where I have to get used to it if I play more.
Sure.
So that was Plague Knight. I feel like I bought one more thing. Well, besides from Mario,
Shovel Knight,
Snake Pass. A game from the olden days got updated like last week, so I played a little bit of that.
And what was that?
Team Fortress.
The
game that won't die.
Oh yes, Team Fortress.
I love Team Fortress Classic.
I love games made by Valve, who definitely still makes games and doesn't not make games anymore.
I mean, Dota exists.
I love the orange box.
I mean, technically, Valve didn't fucking make Dota.
Valve has nothing to do with the Dota.
They literally hired another company to do it for them.
To be fair, they didn't make Portal either. They just hired the people who made Narbacular Drop and then had them make Portal for them.
Yeah, so, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the more recent Valve games are actually completely made by other people, and Valve just buys them.
Yeah, that's actually true.
But what did they do to TF2?
So did
they make it into a MOBA?
Oh God, no.
Did they put Dota hats in TF2?
They did at one point, but they never actually got used.
What did they actually do?
So they've been having this update for the last couple of months. It just said it was a jungle update, but it also I think it was like September or August. They also showed us some patch notes. They were planning to do like a big weapons update because there's some weapons that need to be fixed. But
patching the weapon, like making them different or imbalancing them, or
balance changes.
Not adding new ones.
No, actually, they did add new ones, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So they also did a contest earlier this year who gets the new gear, who gets the new weapons, either the pyro or the heavy, because they both need to be fixed up. They're both kind of fucked up in their own different kind of way. And the pyro one. So along with that, we're waiting for basically 3 things to happen. A pyro update, this jungle update, and I guess Halloween?
Jungle update? What?
I'll get to in just a second. So they shut off a map that was set in a jungle like earlier this year.
Oh, okay.
They said they also told the map people to be like, hey, make some maps for you want to be part of this update. So they did. So
They don't even make their own updates anymore.
this time they actually did, and we were all shocked too. So 2 weeks ago they actually put out the first video for they called it Mercenary Park. A little TF2 short, about 3 minutes long. They basically set the stage for the 4th day update. So they added like 6 new maps. Again,
Wow.
cosmetic.
That's way more than I would expect already.
So it's 1 Valve map and 5 community maps. Each
Okay.
yeah, each map has.
So it's kind of like the CS:GO map packs.
TF2 has been doing this for the longest CS:GO has done, even longer.
Okay, all right,
The two of them share like the same like kind of like team ideas.
right.
Well, it's always been, like someone mentioned in our chat, like TF2 has been it's like the test bed for like Valve ideas.
Gotcha.
Like with the crates that came from TF2, the way
Yep.
skins and that kind of like the trading system came from TF2, etc., etc. Anyway, so we have 6 maps. Pyro got about 4 different weapons. He got like an air cannon, like a fire. It's a fireball gun. I don't know how to describe it. Like you have a flamethrower that shoots a fireball.
Right. It's a gun that shoots fireballs instead of a flame wave. Right.
Yeah. He also got a jetpack and a slap gun, a bitch slap. Especially describe it.
It's not a gun. That's just you slap someone.
Exactly. It's just a glove. You slap people.
Also, how is a jetpack a weapon? That's just a jetpack.
It's secondary, so
Okay.
the secondaries in that game have been either weapons or like utensils.
Gotcha.
But let me guess, you could set people on fire with the jetpack.
You can actually put people out. You can actually take people out of fire. Your teammates.
Oh. It's
I
not
think
really a jetpack.
The main gimmick is
that I
that you
imagine.
fly around and you're lucky enough you can stop on people and you do damage. Think of it like a Goomba. So that was the second day. They introduced in the third day. No, was it the 4th day or 3rd day? Crap, it was like 4 different days. I'm trying to remember what the hell they were. The second day they introduced the skins. So they added war paints, which lets you like customize your weapon skins.
Okay.
That's the usual thing, like hats, cosmetics. That's whatever.
Yeah. Now you can customize the hat colors. Yeah.
That's always been a thing.
Right. No, but I mean they're doing that, but for weapons, basically.
Yeah, they introduced the CS:GO skins are now in TF2. Anyway, on the 4th day, the big one, they introduced the patch notes, which introduced the balance changes, and they ended up fixing up a lot of weapons. Some good, some bad. I think a lot of people are starting to figure out that maybe that Valve does their testing in the 6v6, so like on a full server.
Right.
So while some guns do get properly balanced for a lot of people, some guns are just like rendered useless against like a full crowd.
Right.
So it makes you wonder, like, because TF2 used to have a beta, a separate client for the beta.
Yeah.
Where they did more testing. Then they realized that nobody used it, so
they got rid of it.
So they just put in shit as they went on. It's because I think I read this somewhere. Like TF2 is basically where like new Valve employees go to get like the hang of how the Valve works.
Sure.
So you have people who actually are passionate about the game. They will like it's not a very big team. Maybe like 20 people compared to like Valve's other projects.
That's definitely not a big team. Yeah. Is that including artists too? Wow.
Maybe. 'Cause I know like most of like we're still waiting for that last comic. By the way, I should probably mention like TF2 comics have like they mentioned they're supposed to be like bi-monthly. Between the last one and the one before, was like for like a year. Yeah, but they're good though. They're fucking good.
So,
And then, as per usual with TF2 updates on the first day, it broke. Everything broke.
of course,
Everything fucking
as with
broke.
anything, yeah.
Oh god. So like, because you had to do contracts to get these weapons, and you gotta go through matchmaking, which matchmaking was broken for a good like 6 or so hours.
Mm-hmm.
If you were lucky enough to get in, then good for you. You got the new shit. So we were just like, everyone was just like waiting on this. Because they pretty much, they changed the interface to be more like CSGO, where you can be in a party of 6 and you can do it anywhere in the game. Where like before, you only do it in the main front page,
Right.
before you get into a server.
Yeah.
Now you can just do it anywhere and just invite people to your party.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. They should put that in CS:GO as well.
That is in CSGO.
Is it?
For the most part, yeah. think the session join people through like when you're actually in the
I
game.
don't think you can join a party in game.
I mean, you can just join people through Valve servers. In
I know,
CS:GO
but that's
still.
not the same thing. I'm talking like.
Well, you see, the problem is that TF2 took that out when they did matchmaking. You know, so this is kind of their way to fix that problem. Though it just kind of made things worse.
Right.
But I have yet to get any new weapons yet. I've been busy. I've only played for maybe 2 days when the update came out.
Sure.
Just trying to get the new contracts.
Yeah.
The new maps, I've only played also a couple of maps. I like most of them except for I think the payload map, Enclosure, which is it's a multi-stage payload map, which I always have problems with because even if you win the first round, you have to replay the map again.
Right.
It's multi-stage. Even if you win one, you still have 2 more stages of the map to go. So that could take a while.
Right.
For some reason, I can only do that. I can only
It's like
tolerate
playing a MOBA length game.
which is why I prefer maps like Upward, which is just one big stage. It's really fun. But
cool.
Yeah, it's still kicking. TF2 always has 60K people playing almost every day.
That's so many more than I ever would think.
How many people does Battleborn have playing right now?
Not 60K.
Let's fucking find out together.
Yeah, let's find that out.
You really want to dump on Randy Pitchford, enemy in the podcast, that badly? Right
yes, fuck Randy.
Battleborn has 42 people playing right now.
Wow. Is it weird? That's actually more than I would think.
Wait, how many of those people are Randy on another computer?
2.
He's got 2 computers.
He's only got 2 hands. He's only got 2 hands.
Well, no, he's not actually playing. He just has it started.
Oh, no, he's playing. Hey, Maggie.
Playing with himself.
Maggie.
Yeah?
What'd you play this week?
Oh, it's funny you should ask, because I've been playing Battleborn. I'm playing it right now.
I don't believe that,
There's this guy that I'm fighting right now. His name's Randy.
I don't think I believe
he
that.
keeps yelling at me that Colonial Marines is a great game, and I'm scared.
Oh, that is scary. Anyone who yells that's a lunatic.
Yeesh.
What have you actually been playing?
Not too much, again.
That's fine. You're allowed to not play too much.
But, played a little bit more of the Metal Gears.
Metal Gears 5, the Phantom Gears.
Yep, and it's still just this was almost a good game. Gameplay-wise, it's great.
Well, why are you still playing it if you don't like it?
I mean, I like the game. It's fun.
Alright, there you go.
And I know I'm never getting another Metal Gear fucking game or anything like
well,
that.
you are. The
anytime
Phantom
soon.
Survive or whatever it's called is coming.
No, that's not. I'm not fucking giving Konami money ever again at this point.
Death Stranding. It's on its way.
That's
2022.
probably not going to be like Metal Gear Solid.
That's basically a Metal Gear game. Did you see there was a baby?
It seemed like with Metal Gear Solid 5, Kojima really didn't want to keep doing it.
There's almost definitely going to be nano machines in Death Stranding, so...
there's some weird baby stuff, so...
That's...
That baby's probably made of nano machines.
And then I guess the only other thing that I really played a little bit of is some random survival game I have called 7 Days to Die, and it's really janky, and I bought it a while ago.
Never heard of that. What is it?
Is it on Steam?
It's a voxel-based kind of survival game with zombies in it, and it's really janky.
Is this a Spades?
And it's in early access, and it's really janky. It's really janky still.
You see, okay, I was thinking a game that's just
How is this voxel based? Do you know what a voxel is?
Yes. Oh, don't worry. I know what a voxel is, and it is voxel based.
Is it really?
Yes, everything is squares.
7 Days to Die is the name of the game.
So if you break a block, it is a block, and you build things with blocks.
That's not 7 Days to Die then, because we're looking at the store page.
I'm looking at this, and this is not voxel.
It is. It doesn't look like it because it's made to look kind of realistic, but it is voxel based.
But when you actually break something, it turns into a square.
You build stuff with squares, and everything is square based, but it kind of rounds the edges out a little. But it is voxel based.
That's so weird.
So are the environments destructible?
You can do whatever you want and blow everything to hell if you really want.
Okay, so it is voxel based then.
So how does this game make you feel when you play it?
Like I want a new Stalker game, instead of
You
a
have
zombie
that.
survival game. No, I want a new one.
But
I
you've been
want,
playing a new one.
I've been playing a mod, that's fun, but like, I want like a game that's kinda like survival horror, but Stalker instead, and has good gunplay, cause
Yeah,
that would
you
be
should
nice.
play, fuck. What's that game? That Metro.
No, I want like an open world kind of thing. I like walking
I
around.
think the most recent Metro is kind of like that a little bit.
It is not.
Are
It
you
is not
sure?
at all.
The most
Yes,
recent
I am
one?
sure.
Alright.
Last Light is not open world.
What about, Destiny 2? That's an open world shooting game.
Alright, buy me Destiny 2 so I can't start it on my computer.
Oh.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's do that.
alright. Is that all you've been
Um,
gaming?
I just like, I just want, like, I almost like those survival games, you know what I mean?
I've
I
played,
almost like them.
have you ever played PUBG? I bet it wouldn't run very well on your computer, but
No, because I looked at that and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna run, so I never got it.
I think it would run. I don't know that it would run well, but I think it would run. And I will say this: I have played other survival games. I've played Ark. I've played the I forget what it's called, but the like condensed version of Ark as well. And I've played H1Z1, and I've played
Oh, I'm sorry.
that other zombie one that I don't remember the name of. That was really popular for a while there.
Daisy?
Yeah, thanks. And having played all of those and then playing PUBG, yeah, they're pretty bad, and PUBG is good.
Players Unknown Battlegrounds is technically not a survival game.
Right. So it turns
It's
out
like a
that
battle royale, King of the Hill kind of
yeah.
thing.
So it turns out that the element of survival games that I don't think is very fun is the
Is the
part
survival part?
right is the part where you're just walking around like collecting water and then you don't find any and then it takes forever to ever get any kind of actual weapon and then if you're lucky you get one and then you have like two ammo so then you try to build a house and then a group of dudes with assault rifles kills you and then
Alright,
that's the
here's
game.
the thing. I don't like playing those type of games in multiplayer because I don't like how people usually just fuck around and just kill everybody and
Right,
do dumb
so
shit.
the thing is that's the only way to play those games though. There's no point, at least for me.
I mean, like, with Stalker, like a game like that, but I
With
want it to be
Stalker,
a bit
yeah.
more like, you can build things.
But Stalker is more of an
things like
FPS
that.
than I think a lot of those games are. A lot of those games, in my personal opinion, end up coming down to this element of yes, we have combat, but it's not good. It's just sort of there. And then
I like the tension of like walking around an open world and trying to find things, and then holy shit, people are shooting at me all of a
Right.
sudden, or oh my god, there's a giant monster thing.
yeah, and I get that, and I agree with you. That's makes
I
Stalker
don't
good.
like when it's like you have to drink every 2 minutes or you will
Right.
die.
So
Oh,
here's the thing about PUBG, right? Is that they have condensed that experience down to only the fun parts, which is you go somewhere and you find a gun, and you actually find a gun. Yeah, you might not find the best gun.
Well,
You might have to look in a couple
uh,
of different places to find a good gun. But you find a gun, and then you have good shooting, and then you go and you shoot people with your friends, and it's fun.
yeah, but that game's more like a battle royale.
Well,
as a
that
video
game's
game.
more about the actual gameplay shooting part than it is
About
about
being
the
the
survival
last one
aspect.
alive. I'm talking more about like I kind of just want a single player stalker like
No,
game
no, I
that
get
just
what you're
has
saying
more
you
like,
want.
you know, just like I just want a game that I want. All right, I don't know how to explain.
Yeah,
it.
you're allowed
Just
to want
fucking-
that. I get what you want. I'm just saying
I
that
I also hate how every single survival game is like a janky fucking early access thing.
I
That's
wouldn't
not
really
finished.
call Stalker a survival game. Is what I think though.
A lot of the mods and like later games they do add like you have to eat and sometimes
right.
sleep.
I feel like
but
it's
those
just
are often
mods, though.
optional. Yeah, and it's mostly the mods that make that happen.
But they also like the way they do it in Stalker is like they handle it a lot better where you don't have to do it constantly, which I like
Yes.
because that's really obnoxious.
Well, you should just play one of the Fallout games with all those mods turned on because that's a thing too.
Yeah, but Bethesda is bad at making
Yeah, because the
game
gunplay
engines.
sucks. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. If you're saying the Stalker game engine is good, though, I don't know what to tell you, because it's not.
No, I didn't say it's good,
All right.
but, like, the shooting is better by far than, like, either of those two things.
All right.
Hi, I am...
Emails.
Yes.
So we got a few this time. I'm going to read them first. Our first email
How come you
comes
get to read
in
them?
because I'm the interim host.
I am.
No,
Actually.
you're not. Miko asked me to be. All
I
right.
think you'll see my name right here.
I
on
have
this
photo
piece of
evidence. Emails. The first one comes from friend of the podcast, Cosmic Bard. Hey, podcast boys. I have a poorly aged game experience for you. So the topic was poorly aged games or movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day of the PlayStation, Lunar Silver Star Story, which is, boy, that is a mouthful to say, was a pretty impressive thing with a full collector's edition, including a leather-bound art book, music CD, behind-the-scenes video, etc. The game itself, however, had already started to show its age, having been a port of a 2-year-old Saturn game. Trying to play this game again recently, even with a remake, was just bad. The story is cheesier than a dad joke, and the combat is drier than a mummy's dick.
That's one way to describe it.
Yeah, you know when they remake something and add a single new gimmick to make it fresh? This game's most recent remake needed that badly. Instead, it's a single button mashing slog with no interesting mechanics to speak of gameplay-wise. It got on by its charm and novelty, but I don't think it can hack it anymore in a world already filled with formulaic JRPGs. You ever played this game, Lunar?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever actually played it.
You ever played that, Maggie?
No. I did have a PlayStation 1 long ago when I was a wee child after the Sega Saturn broke for the second time. Because that was a bad console.
So, Lunar is the one with the girl with the, the guy with the big stupid triangle hat, and the girl has blue hair and has the little white, like, cat dragon thing on the cover. And I did play a little bit of that game back in my day. And yeah, it's super generic. It's about as generic as it gets. That being said, I didn't play that much of it because instead the game that I played a lot of on PlayStation 1 was Arcfell Ad, which I think has held up a lot better than Lunar.
I don't really remember much from when I was a kid playing the PlayStation 1, but I do remember one game, so can you tell me how much better or worse it is than Donald Duck Quack Attack or Going Quackers or whatever the fuck it was called?
No, because I never played that game.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you
I
see,
bet-
you play as Donald Duck.
I can't speak to the
That's
gameplay, but I don't know. There really almost nothing about Lunar stuck out to me as a game. The story is pretty generic too, and I don't really like that game very much. So I get where he's coming from, but I can see how you would fall into, be interested in that game as a kid because it's like, ooh, anime. It's a JRPG. I love those, and it's got a cover with cool stuff on it.
Yeah,
It's just
but
like
I don't.
a relic of its time because certain anime back in the day wasn't as like widespread as it is now.
I don't like JRPGs though.
Okay.
I want to play fun games like Pac-Man World.
You want to play fun games like Steak Eater, who writes in, Time Splitters 2 was one of my faves, but after the modern age of shooters, Look Spring on aim makes it unplayable.
Alright, I'm gonna have to say no to this one because Time Splitters 2 and 1 both still play well today.
Okay, yeah,
So, no.
I agree with you.
The third one aged worse.
I actually,
Wait, Picture Perfect?
my cousins who live in New York City, they sort of fell out of video games as they got older, but when they were young, they used to own Nintendo consoles all the time. So they had a GameCube, and they have Time Splitters 2 for the GameCube. And I still, sometimes, when we go over to their house for the holidays, if we do, play Time Splitters with them, because it's mad fun. Look Spring on aim is not something that bothers me, actually. It's just something that I think either you got used to, and it stuck with you, or you didn't get used to it and it didn't stick with you. And if you aren't used to it and can't make that transition back and forth, then I totally get why you would think this aged really poorly. But that being said, like, oh man, the weapons in Time Splitters and all the crazy characters you could play as, that stuff is so great.
I honestly think, like, on a console, like, playing with a controller, the way Time Splitters works is actually better than a normal first-person shooter.
Because this is a team that did the original GoldenEye on N64, so they kind of got used to how that kind of stuff works. They made the controllers perfectly suit with a controller.
Right. And I will say the one complaint I would have about Time Splitters now is just, man, playing that on a 480p TV, I don't know how I did that as a kid, because some of those maps in Time Splitters are really big. Like that ice map, and
yeah.
with just a big open area in the middle, and you can barely see some of the enemies from so far away. It's hard to, like, aim and hit them because of how far away they are and how small they are.
I don't know if you've ever tried to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, but goddamn,
I haven't, and I'm not interested in
that
doing
shit
that.
is fucking hard.
It's sometimes as hard on normal, so I
Atom
agree with
Smasher
you.
on hard is one of the fucking hardest things in that game. Because, like, you have such a finite amount of fucking time. And then you keep having to hear Harry Tipper get fucking set on fire.
Oh.
Alright.
So, go ahead. I was gonna say, I never played 2, but I played Future Perfect. So, I wouldn't know.
Future Perfect, I feel like they made it, like, everyone's more squishy in that game compared to the other one.
Alright. We got emails.
Then we gotta move on.
You don't
We got emails.
want to
Wolfman's
talk
got...
about interesting things?
No, we can't spend as much time on every single one.
Sacrifice.
Welcome to Hour 3.
Yeah, that's exactly why that's not happening. Wolfman's Got Nards says, my knee-jerk, despite the fact I still love it, is Sacrifice. For a game with the visual style and movement controls similar to an MMORPG or action game, the fact that there are few or inconvenient keyboard shortcuts for spellcasting makes the experience very dexterously complex if you don't have the years of experience to move, click spells, change unit formations, and cast on specific targets at the same time. If you never played this game, it's like almost like a third-person RTS. It's really weird.
I have played this game, and it is like a very good looking and sounding game. Not in terms of like graphics, but like
there you go.
you know what I mean. Like I like the style of it,
Okay, yeah.
and it's got a lot of good like voice actors, and everything's very nice.
But the thing for me is, I agree with you, but the thing that really gets me about this game whenever I look at it nowadays is it has that, what I would call, early PC game look to it.
Very blocky, blurry textures, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like the textures are really rough and it's super blockish. It reminds me of what's that game? Kabuto.
Can we just say like Half-Life 1?
No, hold on. Citizen Kabuto. It reminds me of that.
Game.
It looks like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They have
And also
that look to
Sacrifice,
them.
at the time it came out, I'm pretty sure it didn't work on most computers because it was very intensive.
Right, like you're running around, there's a ton of units and stuff happening.
Because, like, I think you can morph, like, all the geometry, kind of, and that was weird at the time.
Wow.
And so a lot of computers couldn't handle that. So, yeah. I did try to play it, but it was kind of a bit too janky for me to play too much.
I can definitely see how that would be dated. Next up is I would say a more controversial one. Fuckwitch, Fucc. Writes in.
If you think this is controversial, I don't know what to tell you, really.
Writes in. The Witcher 1. I could and probably will play it again one day. But if you ask the community, that thing was a shit show, especially after 2 and 3. The menus can be kind of hard to read when you're used to the newer ones. A lot of the systems are kind of vague. A lot of design choices like that, I would say, are par for the course for PC games around the time it came out. But, naturally, they immediately dated it when the games became a cleaner experience. I remember the skill tree being broken up into bronze, silver, and gold tier skills, and I can't even remember how you got skill points for the 2 higher tiers, because you would level up or complete a quest or something, and it would be like, you got a bronze skill point. I don't even remember that. I actually, when I read that, I had a dark, like, sort of like, repressed memory moment of, holy shit, there were skill tiers that, like, work differently.
Have you two played The Witcher 1?
I sure have.
I haven't.
The Witcher 1 is not a good game.
The gameplay of The
Let's
Witcher
be honest.
1 is not good. I will openly admit that.
The writing is kind of good, but you could see they're still trying to get, like,
I thought the writing was fine. It's not amazing, but for a video game, especially
really,
at the time
like,
that
if you try and play the game before the enhanced edition came out,
yes,
like, just look up videos of that, because that's amazingly fucking terrible.
Yeah. So let me talk about this. I played that game on launch before the enhanced edition came out, and full transparency, that game sucked at launch. It was.
Hey, have you ever seen a game with no animations on, like, half the things?
Yeah, A was, like, really glitchy. Like, I mean, really glitchy. Rough. And not something, like, you associate with the Witcher people these days, but it was then. A CD Projekt? Is that with them? Yeah.
Yeah, Project.
And, CD Projekt Red. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, oh, man, it was so glitchy. The combat felt terrible to do and was, like the most jank. Like, could not be more janky. You literally...
Yeah, the combat in The Witcher 1 is really, really boring, because it's just like, click your mouse, and that's it.
No, but it was also, like, there was, like, a timing element, and it was a bad... Like, it didn't work.
Yeah. Like, it was really, really hard to do anything competently, because it was very tight.
Especially pre-enhanced edition, it was, like, really hard. So... Yeah, I mean, really just everything gameplay-wise, from The Witcher 1 to The Witcher 2, was a colossal improvement. And I still would even say, The Witcher 2 has a lot of issues, so you can picture how bad it was in The Witcher 1. I tried to go back to this a couple years ago, and I couldn't.
Also, if people remember, another part of the combat was there were a lot more, like, weapon choices and fighting styles. And the thing is, like, you could use other weapons, but there's not really a point to most of the time, because they're all worse than the 2 swords.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to use them.
Yeah.
You just use another sword fighting style instead of switching weapons, because why the fuck wouldn't you?
The meditation was slower, too, and, like, the menuing was really bad. Just, man, that whole game was, Yeah, I fully agree with this. I don't think you can go back to that game. Especially if you have played 2 and 3. Once you've played 2 and 3, there's no going back.
2 kind of is a bit dated now with all the QTEs and shit.
But even still.
Even that is way better than the fucking first one.
Yeah, no question. Alright. Our final email, which is not an email, and you should put it in an email, and don't write it in Discord or in the doc. But I'm going to read it anyway.
Might as well.
Is from... friend of the podcast, frequent guest Concordat, or at Concordantly on Twitter. And he says, GoldenEye. The biggest issue with playing the game nowadays is the way the controls are built around the astoundingly shitty N64 controller, which means a heavy reliance on auto-aim. The AI is rudimentary at best, and has a shitload of comical idiosyncrasies. I actually will totally still play multiplayer of this game, and I don't mind at all. But yeah, the single player of this game sucks, for sure.
I just think the game in general isn't very good, to be honest, at this point.
I don't even think it's very good. It's not really about it being good.
It's a legacy game.
If you want to play a good GoldenEye, play Time Splitters 2.
Sure.
Yeah,
But it, just in terms of, like, nostalgia factor, I would say, like, this game is still playable to me, even though I totally agree the N64 controller is really not great, and more importantly, extremely bad specifically for FPS. But there are ways to mitigate somewhat the garbage of this game by, like, using a control scheme that lets it so that the C-stick instead of having to stop and aim, the C stick moves your C button. Sorry, yes, moves your gun around, so that you can actually move and aim at the same time. Even though obviously you still have to rely on the auto aim for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. I still get something out of playing this game from time and time again with other people who are nostalgic for it. But I don't think I could ever go back to playing the single player of this game. I mean, the objectives, it's funny. I don't remember if they got the actual voice actors for GoldenEye or not.
I don't think so. I think oh yeah.
I don't think they did.
Oh,
no,
is that?
There was definitely some voice acting. I just don't remember.
Might have been if they did, it probably just like got clips from the movie and just sampled out. Oh.
Yeah. But yeah. It wasn't. The single player is really cool when you're a kid because it's like, oh, it's just like the movie. But nowadays, it's couldn't go back to it.
Better options.
So I agree with that.
I guess if you really want to play GoldenEye and just don't want to have to bother with the ES4, just always go to a nice source. I guess.
So what was yours? Game on.
I didn't really have one because I wasn't here last time you mentioned this.
That's fine. Maggie, do you have
say
one?
a random game that you think has aged poorly? Go.
I don't know. My mind's been kind of fucked.
You don't need to know.
This podcast.
He wasn't here for this question. What was yours? Maggie, hit me.
All right. I have several.
I only want one. So don't give me
they're
several.
all tied together. Don't worry. Every game that starts with the name Grand Theft Auto aged badly.
All of them, including GTA 5?
That is a bad game. So, yes.
So what is your biggest problem? Instead of asking you individually, what is your series problem with GTA? Why is it aged poorly for you?
Alright, well, here's the thing. The older ones, before 4, everything before that is fucking unplayable because the gameplay is awful.
Really? San Andreas is just doable for me still.
No, it's not. It's really not.
I mean, watching the LP, I can kind of manage it again.
It's not good, but it's doable.
I've tried to play it. Like, I never beat that game because even when I was a kid, I was just like, I fucking can't play this game.
But I can understand that complaint. But what about 4 and 5?
4, doesn't look great, and still kind of is janky. But it plays pretty decent for the most part.
4 is my favorite.
So I will say 4. Yeah, 4 definitely aged the best. I'll say.
And I think 4 now. There's been so many mods and stuff with it. You probably could make it look decent and play a little more modern and remove some of that.
4 is kind of notorious for having a really shitty PC port, though.
Yes, it is. It has one of the worst PC ports ever.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And then
but they
5,
fixed it. Ultimately, it got better, for the record.
They did. Took a while.
5 is really, really, really just not fun to play because the story is really bad and they obviously cut so much shit out of the game to put it in the multiplayer.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I mean, mechanically, I will say it's the best. I had fun playing it. We played it for a couple days. What was it?
And also having NPCs just shout slurs randomly isn't really funny. It's just dumb.
They did that in 4 too, to be fair. They actually did that in all of them, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in 4, I never had a guy constantly, every other line he said, every 5 seconds be like he just shouts the word tranny over and over again. That's never really happened.
Well, that's, yeah.
That just kind of made me a bit uncomfortable. I was like, well, I don't really want to play this game anymore.
Yeah.
And also, the characters in the storyline of 5 don't exist. There are none. It's actually a dream. You're not playing as anybody.
Michael has some character. The other two, I agree with you.
He has some character at the beginning, and then they forget what it is. The script got lost.
Yes,
or something.
That is true.
I don't know what happened.
Well, it's not that they forget. It's just they realize that no one would care, and they would rather just push more Trevor garbage.
Then Franklin. They wrote Franklin because they were like, well, San Andreas was the last game this setting was in, and you played as a black guy in that, so let's have him, again, like another black guy, but, like, what's a character? We forgot how to write a character again. How do we do that? Like, he seems like he actually has some basic character development happening, and then he gets a house, and then that's it. That's all that happens
That's
with
his
him.
well. That's his
And
character development. He gets
like
a house.
his character
Yeah.
development is he gets a house and then just turns into a shithead. Like that's it. And then Trevor is just the worst thing I've ever seen.
The Trevor is the
like that.
Trevor is the Rick of GTA 5, where
He's not,
you're not supposed
because-
to relate with him. You're supposed to think he's really shitty and bad and whatever, but instead lots of people like him and do relate with him, and unfortunately so did the writers. So instead of just painting him as a crazy dick, they also tried to make him likable at the same time.
There's a moment with Trevor that basically like exemplifies how much the people who wrote the game didn't give a fuck. And it was when they introduced Trevor, he kills Johnny from the fourth one, who may not be like a great character or anything, but he was a main character. And they just killed him in a cutscene because they want to show like how their new character is better than the old ones or some shit.
Yeah.
And even though it's just like, Trevor is a worse character than Johnny, and that's kinda hard, because Johnny wasn't much of anything, really.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I do think the gameplay of 5 holds up, though. I would still...
Yes, the gameplay is good, but there's like, again, it's like Metal Gear Solid 5, where there's just nothing there.
I actually like playing GTA Online. I played that for quite a while. I might even go back to that.
Well, yeah,
one of these
GTA
days, but-
Online was fun until they made it even harder to play, because everything's obscenely expensive, and they made money even harder to get.
Yeah, fortunately, I got in before they did that. I got that big
too late for
cash
me
before
that.
it happened. Yeah.
Well,
Like,
sucks.
all the new things cost like millions of dollars, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't care about this. Like, you want me to buy a digital yacht for $15 million? Are you fucking with me?
Now spend $100 on microtransactions to do it.
Oh, no, but the $100 gives you $8 million, which
Right.
isn't enough
Yeah,
to
you
buy
need,
anything.
You need to spend $200. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
All right.
Okay.
Let me do
So
mine
yeah, GTA is bad.
real quick. Mine is a game that you may not have heard of because it's not good, and it really kind of wasn't ever good. Like, I think. So here's the thing: is like when I looked this game up, I was really surprised to see this. The Metacritic score on this game, which I don't know if this includes old reviews. I take it that it doesn't, and it's talking about the more recent version on Steam. But let's pretend for a second that that's not true. Even if it did, this would still be, I think, a really high score. It's 72 on Metacritic right now. This is a role-playing game that you could say it's a JRPG, but that would be a lie because it's not Japanese. In fact, it's developed by Valkyrie Studios, who I don't know if they ever did anything else ever, but I'm pretty sure they don't even have a Wikipedia article, so that should really tell you a lot about how important Valkyrie Studios was. I'm sorry, I'm just looking really quick. It seems like they only ever made this game.
It was published by Monolith.
So, Septerracore, Legacy of the Creator, is the name of this game.
Whoa, wow, this is like some 90s ass
This
CGI.
is some real 90s stuff.
I love how even the cover looks bad.
It's 1999. Of course, that's why.
It is 1999. I played this game on my PC as a child in the year 2000, I believe. So about maybe not a year, maybe.
I mean, I'm
6
just gonna
months.
say this now. I typed Valkyrie Studios into Google, and the only thing that came up is right there: video game Septerracore, Legacy of the Creator.
This is it.
That's about it.
So, oh, by the way, just on a relevant sort of funny thing, the publisher for this is Monolith, which are the guys who made the Middle-earth games recently, and Fear and Condemned and that stuff. This was one of their earlier publishings. Hey, I had like some nostalgia for this game for a hot minute there, because I was like, man, I remember playing that as a kid. I really enjoyed that game as a kid. And I never got very far because I was a stupid kid and it was a JRPG and I'm bad at those. And there wasn't like a guide back then to tell me where to go. So I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do for some of the quests and got lost and gave up as a kid. So I figured, oh, hey, this game's out on Steam. I'll it came out in 2009, the new version. And I was like, I think this was last year, maybe the year before. I was like, oh man, I should check that out and see if, now that I'm an adult, I can go back and play through it and do some stuff. Hey, maybe
now that I'm a big smart adult, I can figure this out.
And now that I can look up a guide online to tell me where to go and etc. And and maybe I'll even do a little bit of an LP of it. I thought. Well, guess what? I installed the game, and it only runs. It doesn't even run in 1024. I'm pretty sure it only runs at 800 by 600 at the biggest. It might have only been 640 by 480. No, it's not windowed. It's full screen, and there's no way to make it windowed.
It's just a big blurry fucking.
Can't even do alt tap. Alt enter.
So that doesn't work. Wow. And there's no option in game, of course, because it's old. So if you thought that was bad, boy, you'll love the gameplay of this game, which is also bad. Constant random encounters, really bad combat. Still extremely confusing of where to go. It has like the sort of maps, like the environments of like a Final Fantasy VII, where it's like a sort of a 3D painted environment that you run around on in a 3D fashion, but it's
the
like
background
2D.
Is an image.
Right, yeah. It's like a JPEG sort of thing. And,
so like a PS1 RPG.
Yeah. And there's like maybe a couple of like 3D type objects in it, but they're not really 3D. They're still that sort of 2D painted looking thing. And guess what? It's really bad. I think I played 15, maybe. No, I probably maybe had a half hour or more. And then I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna play this again. And I was wrong for wanting to go back to this game, and I uninstalled it. So that's mine.
Hey, do you want me to quickly read through some of a little info thing I found on Valkyrie Studios?
I guess. Not really, but sure. Why not?
Valkyrie Studios Incorporated was an independent developer formed shortly after Viacom disposed of its interactive games business in 1997. Cool. So they were formed in 1997, released their first game, Septerracore, Legacy of the Creator, in October 31st of 1999. Mm-hmm. So hey, it's almost the anniversary. We should play that on its anniversary.
Nah.
Right? And then the game shut down in 2001 when they couldn't find a publisher for their next game, Seraphim.
So basically, they made this game and it was so bad that they couldn't find a publisher for a new game. Good job.
Pretty much.
So finally, let's finish this out with the internet sinkhole.
Yeah, boy.
I will go quickly first. I found two things this week. The first one is a cool Kickstarter game that as soon as I saw the trailer for it, I backed it. And I almost never ever do that. So, the reason why I did is because this literally hit me right in the exact spot of, that's the thing that I like. Which is, appears to be, and if you look at it, is a game that is like an inventory. It's like Tetris inventory management JRPG.
Is this basically Resident Evil attaché case horror?
Yes, but you use organizing your attaché case and moving the items around as your method of combat in a RPG.
Oh wow, that actually looks really cool.
And it looks really, really cool. And I like the art style too. Check it out if you like. It's really cool. It's I'll link the Kickstarter and a tweet and the link to the Kickstarter. I guess I'll just link the Kickstarter because I'm guessing they have the trailer on there.
The Twitter that you posted on the docket.
I found it from at Shout Scion, who I believe does the art for the game, and it is called Jack and Casey, an RPG about a mysterious ancient machine that that long outlived its masters and Casey. And the second thing that I found is a trailer for the new Blade Runner movie. If you haven't seen it, this is a much better trailer than the ones they've been putting out. It was specially cut by my good friend DVS, friend of the podcast, at DVS Blast. And yeah, it's really funny and good, like pretty much everything that he puts on his Twitter, so you should watch it. There's nothing else to say except you need to watch it, because it'll make you even more excited for the new Blade Runner. Actually, I wish this was the new Blade Runner. That's how I feel after watching that trailer. Maggie, what you got?
Alright, so for me, Mike, I didn't have anything when we started this, so Mike he bullied me and forced me to talk about how Dryzen friend of the show, Dryzen, likes to abuse things in Mario Land.
Mario Odyssey,
And he kept sending me videos of this abuse, and he kept doing it over and over again, and it made me cry. And now we're here.
Okay, and what's your real thing?
My real thing, I just saw this, and I'm just gonna go with it because it's someone, I guess, cosplaying as Eggman, and he's got their little babu child dressed up as Sonic. It's just a nice little dumb picture, you know.
And it says he finally got that hedgehog.
Yeah,
Did it?
He finally did it, and now
Proof positive that Sonic is for babies.
Or it's that.
Fuck.
First of all, no, fuck you. Second of all, it actually proves the long-standing theory that Eggman is Sonic's father, and they're related.
That too, but yeah, definitely Sonic is for babies, and Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is for adults.
I just want to emphasize that Dr. Robotnik definitely fucked a hedgehog. Thank you.
There you go.
And finally,
I had to ruin the nice photo. I'm sorry.
We're not talking about that. And finally,
actually, I kind of want to talk about that, but we'll get to that in a minute.
No, I don't want to talk about that at all. So we're not going to. I refuse. Instead, tell me about this image that you've linked.
So Mario Odyssey,
has a photo mode.
It does have a photo mode.
I've seen a lot of really good photos from it.
Yeah, so the one thing I never realized that the doggos in that game have buttholes.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and Mario...
This fucking picture is terrible.
Why did you realize that? Is it because of this picture where Mario is staring longingly at a dog butthole?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very blurry butthole, but it's a butthole.
I mean, it's there. You can see it.
Yep.
Is that a Hegao face? Is that what Mario's doing right there?
You want a real answer or you want a fake answer?
I don't know. Can I handle the truth?
I mean, the truth is that he's in the Sandland. He's hot.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's a better answer than what I was worried you might give me.
Yeah, he's hot all
yeah, and so
hot and bothered.
In the set, so in the Sand Kingdom, he's just idle. He'll wave his hand across his face to get really. Actually, no, that's just like his one health animation.
Can I ask you a quick weird question about Mario Odyssey? I keep seeing people in the Sand Kingdom playing the game, and then Mario shivering.
Oh, when you first get there, the whole area is kind of frozen.
Oh,
because it's like an ice monster who.
But it didn't look frozen. It looked like a desert.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of ice stuff around there.
Oh, so it's cold.
Yeah, even during the day.
All right.
And the second thing I have here is something I just discovered during the podcast, and it's amazing.
Which is what?
I'll let you guys.
No, I'm seeing it, but I describe it for our audience.
I am actually trying to describe. I'm trying to figure this out myself. It's just I don't know how to describe it.
You want me to describe it for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so Mario is almost buck-ass naked. He's got a hat and he's got some lovely boxers on. Because boxers are more freeing than tighty whities, and they don't put as much strain on you, and Mario's got to jump around a lot, you know?
Uh-huh.
Although that does kind of mean his Italian sausage is kind of wobbling around down there while he's jumping around, which is, you know, an image you can have in your head now.
And the bunny girl seems to be really getting something out of this.
Yep.
For
and
sure.
he's basically
Uh-huh.
He's statically jumping into a bunny girl, and they make noises, and then he's panting.
I don't think he's jumping. I think he's spinning, but it looks like he's doing something else.
It looks like he's fuck. I had something for a second, and basically Mario is a horny tiny Italian man, and you shouldn't trust him.
Yeah, and he's a shitty guy too because he punches Yoshi in the back of the head. All right. This is running long, so we're done now. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to email us, email at podcast at burndownthesandcastle.info. And we'd love it if you give us a rating on iTunes. That would be super great. Yeah, we'd love to, any feedback you can give us would be awesome.
What's next week's topic, by the way?
That's a great question. What is next week's topic? I'm gonna ask a controversial question that I've seen around on Twitter, which is, this was something that was going around a little while ago. There was something where people were asking, what are the core Mario games? But instead of asking what are the core Mario games, I'm gonna ask, what is your number one Mario game, and why?
Does it really have to be Mario? Because
it does have to be Mario.
Super Mario Sunshine.
How about this?
64.
It doesn't have to be Mario, but the game has to have Mario in it. So, number one game that includes Mario.
All right, so Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be the one that I pick. I just want you to know ahead of time.
You can't do that. Podcast at burndownthesandcastle.info to send in your number one Mario game.
What's your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game? Send it to...
No, don't do that. Or send it in on the web form on the website if you'd like. It's easy, convenient. You don't even have to send an email. Burndownthesandcastle.info.
What is your favorite Mario and Sonic at the Olympics game?
Thanks so much for listening. And we will see you next week when Miko returns. Goodbye.